All right, we are live.
Oh, we are.
Yes, indeed. All right, everyone. Welcome to Masculine Geek number 140. This is the 2021 Village by the Sea episode. What did you call it, Rob?
Captain Saver, bro.
Why do you call it Captain Saver, bro?
Well, because there's a lot of guys out there that simp for the women and want to save the chicks. But I've seen a lot of guys that also want to simp for other dudes and try to save their bros. Stop it!
What would you say, James?
Shut the fuck up.
There you go. Okay. So are they doing anything in particular that you can illuminate us and give us an example?
Well, anything that you see on the manosphere on Twitter, basically, more or less it's dudes. You know, like dudes that say they only bang 9s and 10s.
Yes.
They're simping for another dude.
Oh, wow.
They're flexing, look at me, I've got my ego investment arm candy bullshit going on. And they're basically, it's not about them getting pussy. It's about them fucking trying to one-up their bros.
Okay.
And you get guys that, say and do stupid shit. And you can offer them advice, especially if they ask. But if they don't run with it and change whatever up, they usually end up, you let them burn because that's your bro, but you can't save them.
Gotcha.
You got to let them burn in that sense.
Okay.
So,
and that is one of the commandments, is let them burn.
thou shalt let them burn.
Okay. I like it. And that's really all we have for tonight. So nice seeing you again.
Thanks for good night, folks.
Thanks, sir.
Good night, folks.
Good night, folks, as TJ would say. How about you? Where you going?
I thought you said we were done.
Jesus Christ, we're not done.
You just said.
Look, you Spurs.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Well, welcome everyone who's watching. Everyone who may be listening and tuning in later time. We're all here together. It's very rare, but you get to see all of us on one screen. Mr. Streisand, Mr. Rob, or Word, as we call him, and obviously everyone knows the illustrious Mr. TJ Martinell.
Live
Mr.
from the
Brief
Pacific Northwest.
Martinell.
Mr. Brief Martinell, yes. The Lord of the Pacific Northwest. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Lord Protector.
Lord Protector.
That's right.
You moved something?
Yeah, I dropped my lid.
Ah, shit.
It's around here somewhere.
Jesus Christ. You have to loom over there all night, are you?
No.
No looming.
No,
Okay. I'm just making sure.
only until it makes you uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable. All right. Okay.
No, it's all right. I'm okay with it being awkward.
This doesn't have to be pleasant for you.
Just trying
Exactly.
to break the ice. I like ice.
This is gonna be fun for you guys.
I was worried about that.
Exactly. Be dirty for it.
What if one protection?
Kind of like
Exactly.
in the last Boy Scout. Go shit in your own yard.
Pretty much. I mean, you did buy us breakfast, so there you go. We're feeling kind of mellow. We don't really have too much of a topic. We're just sort of hanging out. We did invite Mr. Aaron Clary. We'll see if he shows up. No. Six of one, half dozen of the other.
I mean, we can talk about how everybody else needs to actually try and do something like this in their own circles. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, as far as like planning meetups and
Yeah, so I guess if it pleases the crown.
please.
So one of the important things of these kind of meetups is so that you can meet up with guys that you've built up relationships with online, but it's never going to be the same thing as compared to when you meet them in person. You know that they're real. You know who they are. You know that whatever they claim to be online, you get to know who they actually are in real life. And you interact with them on stuff, and you can start talking with them about things in your life. They start talking about things in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is, guys, all this stuff online, you need to take offline for it to be real.
Exactly.
And you're going to start having conversations or just dialogue that you would not have online because it's just not replicable online. That's just not how it works. So this is a conversation we've been having, is how the internet is a tool, but it's like a chainsaw. It has its limitations. You use it for some things, you don't use it for everything. So there's some things that the internet as a tool cannot do. And there's a temptation, in, especially now, to use it for everything.
Mm.
So you want to take this stuff offline, meet people in person, build meaningful in-person relationships. The internet is a tool of how to meet the people that you want to be around.
Boris is okay, Dad.
Well, no, it's just like the internet's been around for how many years, how many decades? It's like, okay,
At least 2.
I'm feeling like we have, 20 years ago, okay, maybe not as relevant, but at this point, this is something where it's like, guys, either you're going to do it or you're not. Because if you're not going to do it, then James has got his answer for you. But that's kind of one of the things that we've been talking about is this idea of the importance of meeting up in person with people.
Absolutely.
And somebody out there in your circles has to be the guy to organize it. But you also, if you're not the guy to organize it, you got to be the guy who's actually going to commit to go doing it and showing up when you say you're going to show up and actually make it happen.
Keeping your word.
Right, making it happen. You can't just sit around and whine about why it's not happening where you're at and why it's not happening with people that you want to hang out with. If it's not happening, at some point it's either you or it's the people that you're hanging out with.
At some point in societal collapse where you're whining and bitching and moaning about the fact that nobody's doing X, Y, Z, you can actually just do X, Y, Z. You can go do some gold approaches. You can go on a date. You can ask your buddy out for beer.
You can flirt with your waitress.
Yep.
It is possible. For all you MGTOWs out there, you can flirt with women. They will not, accuse you of rape unless you are genuinely creepy, which you gotta fix yourself. But yeah.
And granted, your waitress can't really get away from you, but you might find it pleasant for women to smile at you for once.
Especially when you're as charming as I am.
Good to see TG's being brief tonight. That was fairly brief.
I'm also being fairly modest.
Yes, that's what that tone of voice says to me.
Captain Humble.
Yeah.
Which I don't like. I mean, you should be bragging about the waitress situation, frankly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie and argue about that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Was he wearing his
us.
bomber jacket again?
Did he what?
Was he wearing his bomber jacket again?
He did not wear his bomber jacket.
I couldn't bring it.
Well, it's probably a bit warm for that anyway, but I seem to remember
You'd be
you,
surprised. It's a bit chilly.
having some luck over the target the last time you were with Vince and wearing it. So
He's referring to the last waitress.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was in Kansas City.
Yes.
yeah.
Correct. Welcome, Robert. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for the invite. I'm always happy to be here with you guys, even though I'm not exactly there with you guys.
Yes.
But
Virtually speaking.
looks like from the photos on Instagram and Twitter and elsewhere, it looks like you gentlemen have been having quite a good time and a bit of adventure. And I mean, anytime you're drinking and throwing axes, you know that's fun in the making.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a good time. It was indeed a good time. It's good weather too.
Yeah, it's been much, much better this year. It's not nearly as humid. The weather, for the most part, has been good.
Mm-hmm.
New Jersey is traditionally humid, but for a guy from the other side of the continent, it's been good.
Mm-hmm. We had a thunderstorm out. It came up the coast and went out to sea.
Okay.
2 days ago.
2 days ago. It was Monday night. Got a good photo of that, the lightning out in the ocean.
Got a few good videos too. I'm going to put that one back up on TikTok.
Right.
This is no incriminating information. It's the two of you guffawing about it.
We do occasionally default, yes.
Which was pleasant.
Yeah.
It was a nice lead up to the eventual bolt of lightning that split the sky in half that we got to see several times.
Mm-hmm. Cloud to ocean connection. It's pretty good.
Well, there's just something about the salt air and the sea and I mean, there's a reason men went on ships and went out where there was nothing. You know, whether we're talking about the ancient Greeks, the Vikings, men in the Royal Navy, etc. There's just something about the sea that calls to a man. It certainly, certain writers have tried to capture that in literature, and
Yeah.
so you know. So it looks like you guys have been having a successful gathering. So
Yep.
That's only one thing I'll affirm to. Our first day out, frankly, was ridiculous.
mhm.
It was ridiculous.
You tell.
Well, all right. We'll start off
tell you.
with.
He's
What
going
was
to
it?
tell. He's going to tell. He's going to tell.
So we pick up TJ and Rob from the airport. Rob having immediately found his way out. TJ had to be guided slightly, but we did manage to get TJ to escape the baggage claim.
Okay.
And after having been unloaded, I presume. So, honestly, it really did sound like you were calling us from inside those little conveyor thing systems. I was worried for your safety. But what did we go to? We went to Philly pretty much after. No, we stayed in Philly pretty much afterwards. Went driving around, hung out, talked. We picked up cigars at a cigar shop. Met a lovely. Was it Carl or Carlos?
Carlos.
Carlos.
Carlos, the cigar owner and proprietor of the. I don't even remember.
A cigar shop of some variety, which was
third and Market.
right around the corner from the bookends, if I recall.
Yeah.
Which we eventually decided to go eat at after having walked around Philly for a little bit. Took some provocative photos, which we got to see at
The old bar, yes.
the old bar.
The old bar, yes.
What was it? After that point, we got to go into the bookends and enjoy ourselves. And TJ got to flirt with a waitress. TJ, why don't you talk to us about that?
Let's just throw you under the bus now.
I wouldn't say throw me under the bus. It's we had a really cute waitress, and I just did what any red-blooded man would do. So that's kind of
You went to the bathroom and jerked off?
not quite in this case. No. So I don't want to tell any trade secrets because I don't want anybody stealing my,
Still your thunder.
But here's the thing: when you meet a cute girl and she's your waitress, and you got to be playful and whatever, you just do it. So don't overthink it.
Mhm.
Just do it. So I don't know. Gentlemen, don't kiss and tell.
Sure.
Well, discretion does play a part too.
Yeah.
Or gentlemen don't kiss and tell, or the ones that kiss don't tell, and the ones that tell don't kiss.
Exactly.
Olgash says that TJ grabbed her by the cooter, which is not precisely what happened, though I'm pretty sure she would have bled him by the end of the night.
No, but I have this thing now. My goal with Masculine Geek meetups is I'm gonna at least get one photo. I can't control who our waitress is. Sometimes they're older women and they're really sweet. Like our waitress tonight was a very sweet woman.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like,
TJ, you don't have to justify not being into women in their 60s.
right.
Come on, that's peak femininity.
Women peak when they're in their 60s, right? Apparently.
When women look like Rob, that's when they really
No. So my whole goal is to basically get a photo of me and one waitress on each Masculine Geek meetup starting, because this was the first night.
He's not going to collect shot glasses. He's going to
Yeah.
photos of women.
Yeah, collecting photos of cute waitresses that I happen to flirt with and who, are basically eating out of my hand. I guess that's just how it goes. So I'll give a little bit of trade secrets. So this girl was a redhead, which means she didn't have a chance. Redheads love me. It's just the way God made them. So she asked me what drink I'm going to have. And I deadpan, totally dead serious, looked her right in the eye and said, I'll have the sexy redhead. And that girl's pale skin turned as red as her hair.
Mm-hmm.
And she was about to walk away. And then
This
I
is
ordered.
true.
Yeah, and I said, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I actually meant to say this drink.
Mm-hmm.
So then I asked her, I said, first, she was wearing a mask like they all do. And I said, you're taking off your mask and we're doing a photo.
Mhm.
And no joke, dead serious. That was probably the best night of her life working at that restaurant. She was like she was as giddy as, I'm not even quite sure what the comparison would be, but she had a good night.
Giddy is a good word unto its own for what that woman
She was just very giddy. Like that was the best thing that ever happened to her. And she was a very sweet girl. She was very playful, very fun, very engaging with us. So
knew all the drinks, knew all the meals, gave us recommendations. Which I think you forgot to tell that part of the story. She corrected you.
yeah. Oh yeah. That was the best
On
part.
a mispronunciation
So-
you made order.
So I mispronounced a drink that I ordered the first time around. So when the second drink came
Oh
around,
yeah.
I said, "Oh, I have the sexy redhead." Oh, I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. I'll get the.
There was
one.
a slight pause as she was trying to like figure out like, is that on the menu?
Yeah, she looked at me. She was like, "Is that actually?" And then she realized, "Oh, I see what's going on." And then I told her, and I didn't ask, guys. This is the important thing. I did not ask her to take a photo with me. I said, "Take off your mask. We're doing a photo."
Mhm.
And she got all giddy and all that kind of stuff. And then we did a photo, and it was great. So it's going in my personal album. But
We made sure we actually tilted the camera this time to make sure that the girl was leaning in. Would be upset, apoplectic, worrying about whether or not TJ was leaning in or not.
Exactly.
I know, guys.
All
Yeah.
that- It was spurred during the comments.
yeah, all the Spurs.
There's
There's
a
a
bigger
photo.
video, so we could extrapolate the frame data at the point at which TJ was perpendicular to the ground and
Right.
she was leaning in.
Yeah, and they could
So
break
once
out the
you
rulers
laugh-
and protractors and check the angles and yeah.
Exactly. So yeah.
So what you're saying, to be brief, is that if you're amusing and don't care and take charge, women respond positively to you.
I know.
Is that what you're saying, TJ? To be brief.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Imagine.
Wow. You really need to start setting up a course.
Bacon wanted to know what we were talking about because he just showed up, and the Nick just said that TJ is talking about collecting photos of girls for his spreadsheet.
I don't use. First of all, other guys.
spreadsheets.
I don't have spreadsheets. I just have photo albums.
Hmm.
So
So you're going the Gene Simmons route, but just with a more discerning palette.
All I can say is I don't have spreadsheets. I just have handcuffs.
That's right. Nobody knows what I have, so we're not going to go into that.
yeah. No. It's just for me. It's like having a good experience with interaction, and also more importantly, like I made that we as a group, but I'm not not to brag, but I also contributed in no small part, but. We made that girl's night. She had a good night, and I don't think that she'd ever been treated that well by a man or had a man show that level of whatever you want to call it, like
Balls.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so she felt like she felt like $1 million because when I went to go have the photo with her, all three of them pulled out their phones. She felt like she was at like some Hollywood movie opening or whatever, and so.
She had stars in her eyes.
Yeah.
So did you add her to your binders full of women?
Say what?
Your binders full of women? Is that where she went?
Well, yeah, that's what's
One
going
of
on.
our commenters was asked.
It's scrapbooking.
Yeah.
It's a scrapbook.
Binders full of women.
It's a scrapbook of memories. You know what I mean?
It's male scrapbooking apparently.
Mitt Romney is a secret fan of masculine geek.
Yeah.
Who?
How can he not be?
Mitt Romney.
I know. How can he not be?
He's got binders full of women.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold back on that comment.
well, he
Yeah,
is a Mormon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've kind of got the opinion that right now, just with the way things were last year, and then the way things have been going this year, especially for people working in service industries, in restaurants, bars, what have you, especially in places where either it's company policy, city policy, state policy that they have to wear a mask, that it's a little bit easier now to flirt with the waitress or flirt with the lady tending bar than it has been in a while, because it has been such a crap show for people in that industry that if you're halfway decent to them, it's like a ray of sunshine on a
Yeah.
cloudy day. And
Absolutely.
so, I mean, you don't even have to work at it. And if you actually have any natural charm or sense of humor, or, you know, just have that attitude or thing.
It's called game.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to get into doing all
No,
the
but
men, but you're
that's
exactly,
what
no, you're exactly right. 100%. If you've got game, you know, that takes it to a whole other level. But even if you don't have game and you're just a halfway decent dude who can, you know, maybe crack a joke that's actually somewhat humorous or clever, and, you know, give them a smile or something, you know, you're halfway there already. And if you've got
Right.
game, then it's just a whole other level.
So the other thing is, I was talking about this with them in private, is that, you know, a lot of Spurs want to complain about the state of women in our society. This girl, I'm not like, this is not simping, this is not wine nighting, whatever. This is, she was funny, she was sweet, she was engaging, and she had a little bit of spunk. It's like, men need to reward that and encourage that in women, and show that that's what we want. So that girl is going to go to other girls who maybe not be like that and talk about how well she was treated. And the other girls are like, oh, maybe I need to act like that so I can get attention from men the way that this woman did. Men need to reward women who, at least, even if it's not like you're not going to date them or you're going to be with them, reward them for being a woman, so that it spreads and the message gets sent. Like, men need to actually take ownership of their side of things and say, when you meet a woman who's acting like a woman, reward that. Even if it's not like saying, like, rewarded with your attention and your appreciation. That is infectious, because other women see that and, like, here's kind of the unspoken secret for that a lot of guys don't seem to appreciate. Women are very much concerned about what men think, even the average guy. And when they see that a girl is being given tons of attention, or she's being given appreciation, or she's just like, she feels elevated, then other women are going to look at that and say, whatever she did, I need to do too. And that is how we change women's behavior and make it better. Not by, like, doing negative pressure or laws or legislation. It's by our individual choices of what behavior do we reward, right? And it's not like, oh, we have to go on a date with them. No, like, it doesn't even have to be where we want to date them, but if they're behaving like a woman, you know, in that context.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't need a social movement to justify being pleasant.
Right. Exactly.
Your behavior speaks for itself.
Exactly.
And that's what it comes down to. You can talk to your blue in the face and talk out your ass. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Well, I think Rob talks all the time about you as an individual are not going to change things on a macro level, but, you know, you can have control and change things around your life. You know, if, you know, you can change the way people treat you or get them out of your life so that they're a non-issue, but you can only do you.
Right.
And I mean, that's something I know Rob's talked about probably every Thursday night for, you know, how many months now?
At least over a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Deal with what you can influence and control.
We should talk about the pub.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta talk
Okay.
about the pub.
So last night when we came back to, all right. Oh, you're looking for your cat.
Yeah.
It'll turn up.
Yeah, I know. Keep talking.
Keep drinking.
Rob's down on his knees over here. So
Over by Vincent's balls.
right by the balls. See, while you're down there.
it looks like he's doing the whole, we're not worthy. I'm not worthy.
No, I'm not worthy.
Now I'm going to go over by James's balls.
There you go. Whoa, right. He's out of sight. Right in the swimsuit area.
Hey, well, Aaron's not here.
Table see-through.
All right. So
The
we were back
strategically placed couch there. Yeah.
Exactly. We were back in South Jersey and Cherry Hill at Bury the Hatchet. That's where we were doing the axe throwing.
Mm-hmm.
And afterward, well, we spent the day doing some stuff before then, which was nice. But after that, we went to the pub. Now, the pub really isn't a pub, it's just a name only, but it's a throwback to when it was built in the late 60s, early 70s. The decor, the ambiance, the aesthetic has not changed from the 70s.
Not at all.
So it's a time machine.
Time capsule.
Time capsule, right
James.
down even to the music that they play.
Yeah.
So if
It's
you want,
awesome.
you can describe more if you want.
Yeah, so it's kind of got this interesting combination of like 70s aesthetics and like you feel like you're walking into a for lack of a better way of describing it, it's like a pizza parlor that feels like it's also a medieval great hall.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the pizza parlors back in the day used to do the same thing, where they had the brick. It was kind of dark, a little darkly lit. They had the stained glass windows and all that kind of stuff. And first of all, I love it because when I was a kid, there was a place in my hometown called Pizza and Pipes, and it was a combination of pizza, arcade games, and a silent film organ. So they would play the music really loud, and kids are running around making a lot of noise. But it was a place where kids could be loud. They had arcades and they had pizza. This place didn't have pizza, but it
The
had
best steaks in the world.
It had really great steaks, and it felt like I was going back to. For me, it was like going back to the 90s. I know it was in the 70s, but like a lot of places I went to when I was a child were things that had started in the 70s, like the one pizza place I went to.
Mm-hmm.
So there was brick everywhere. The carpet was all the same. It had like a lot of old wood inside. Like nothing had changed. It was real. I loved it. I thought it was a great place. It was in this huge open area. I haven't seen anything that big in a long time. As far as like open rooms, it was like being in not even a basketball court. It was like being in a closed football field sized room.
It's pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
with tables everywhere, and the people who worked there were like great. Like they were all like older people for the most part, but they were
He
all
came with the building.
I can't, but they were all. Everybody was cool, and
The chef had the uniform and the
the
chef
chef. He looked like Chef Boyardee doing his thing. Everything felt like nothing had changed, so it was really cool. I really appreciated it because I'm big on like I'm not necessarily stuck on like a specific decade or anything like that, but I appreciate where somebody takes something and holds on to it.
Yeah.
If somebody's got something from the 50s, great. Somebody's got something from the 70s, great. Somebody's got something from the 90s or the 80s, great. But the fact that they've kept it the way it is and haven't changed it at all, I really like that because now it's at the point where it has the momentum of this is how it's always been and we're not changing.
Right.
And people, I think the thing is people appreciate something that's survived that long.
Yeah.
It's not to get too like
it's almost a national
yeah.
landmark.
The pub is created, in my opinion, walking in there. It's been there for so long and it's maintained its aesthetics. It has its own culture where you go in there. If you're going to work there, if you're going to be part of it. If you're going to go eat there, this is how they do things.
Mm-hmm.
And people either love it or they don't. But I think that the fact that it doesn't change is what people like about it.
Yeah,
Well,
I wasn't sure when
now-
you said that 70s sort of aesthetic if you were talking about the rustic wood, dark brick kind of aesthetic or the 70s future aesthetic like in Logan's Run or Rollerball, because
No,
there was that 70s chrome shiny plastic look. So
No,
I wasn't
no.
sure which way you were going until you
Yeah,
were
This
further
had
into the
that
story.
velvet, dark wood,
Yeah.
the faux, like a club, like a lounge.
Yeah.
And it had the faux light bulbs that looked like flickering candles
Yeah.
type of
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely love that.
It definitely, for me, evoked nostalgia for me because when I walked in, it took me about back to when I was about 8 years old.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God, this is how restaurants used to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a place I wanted to go drink at when I grew up and was old enough to do so. But of course, by the time I did, those kind of places were mostly all shut down, or
Yeah.
somebody's local hunting lodge that you had to get lucky and find up, in some weird part of Ohio or something. So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, there's a place in my hometown that's survived over the years from the 70s.
Mhm.
It's called.
Where do you live?
I grew up in Bellevue, Washington. It's called.
And where is Bellevue, Washington? Right.
Pray tell.
I'm gonna commit murder.
Yeah.
Seattle,
So,
Portland.
Pacific Northwest.
Yes. We don't get nearly enough of that word as we would like.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
anyways, there's a restaurant that has survived over the years because it's built up like it's one of several restaurants in my hometown of Bellevue that have survived because they have built up such a culture. Like Little John's has its culture, and then there's the Pancake House, which is in downtown Bellevue. It's this little tiny place. It has, like you were saying with one restaurant we went to, there's lines outside of it.
Oh, Manco. Well, it used to be Mac and Manco, the pizza
Yeah,
place
Manco,
on the
yeah,
boardwalk. Now,
it's
now it's
And
Manco
it's a
and
tiny
Manco.
place, but it's been there for so long that it's a local,
it's a landmark.
it's a landmark.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go there. Nobody wants it to go away. It's almost like it's part of the city's spirit, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Or its soul.
No,
Okay.
those places are important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, definitely. Like, seems like you guys have found all the. I mean, were these places you found by accident, or was this all stuff you'd had kind of plotted out, Vince?
These are things that I had plotted out. I had a general idea of what I wanted to do, plus a plan B.
Mm-hmm.
The plan B was good because there was 2 locations in Mount Holly that, for whatever reason, were closed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. I'm like, what the fuck? So we went to plan B. We still had a good time. We hung out. It wasn't a problem at all. It's always good to have a plan B. You don't
Gotcha.
always have to have a as Aaron Clary would wish to have an itinerary. It's good to have a general itinerary and also to have a plan B just in case. Just in case. Especially if you're hosting. You're having
Right.
a meetup like this. So like today there was we just fucking woke up when we woke up. There was no any general plan. We decided, hey, let's go to the cigar shop. There's a great cigar lounge in Summers Point. You want to describe that, Rob?
Nah.
No, Rob's not going to describe that. So James has a good voice for describing a cigar lounge.
I do have a particularly good voice for this one.
You do, yeah.
Yeah,
So please have at it.
Black leather couches, lighting angle that was not too dim, such that you couldn't see anybody around you, but allowed everything else to have shade. Like once all these lights are turned on, or outside, which is why I dislike those deck lights.
I'm not like
They evaporate all shading,
Mhm.
right? And we people, I mean, look at each other. I want to look at the contours of Vince's face.
You should.
I want to see everybody should.
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
to see how
The rugged jaw.
I want to see the
rugged
shadow of Rob's beard. I want to see light bouncing off of TJ's cheekbones, avoiding his lower jaw.
Mhm.
You did this to yourself, and you made this bet.
I did, yes. I shall lie in it.
And goodness, there was this light of contrast. I can't remember what color the walls were. If I had to guess, I would.
They were light colored, like a light brown or tan.
Right,
I said
yeah.
they're beige.
Beige,
Which
yeah.
is funny because I remember them being red, or in my mind's eye, they're red because they had this soft, unintrusive, but still present vibe to them.
Mm-hmm.
And all this is contrasting with what were probably plastic, but what looked like
Marble.
marble or granite
The tabletops. Yeah.
tabletops.
Yeah.
And we're sitting on these, I'm now mixing the palm with the chairs
That's probably, yeah,
that we were
exactly.
sitting in. So the red, cushioned, comfortable, And it speaks to the cigar lounge that I am now melding this place with another place in my mind that I associate with comfort, relaxation, and good company.
No, your memory is correct, James. Your memory is correct. One of the walls where they had the cigar lockers, that was sort of an orangey red.
Right,
What they call an accent wall. The other ones are with the brown.
Right.
Yeah, so we're all on the same page. I just looked at the photo.
And the lockers behind us have names of members and gold lettering.
Yep.
That's the video Vince posted on
the video
on
and
Twitter.
then a couple of the photos that I threw up on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that was good. That was that was random. We were there on Monday because the cigar shop that's around the corner, that fucking place is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay.
So there was an app that I used to find cigar lounges and cigar shops called Where to Smoke. That one pinpointed one not too far away, 4 miles, 4 and some change, in Summers Point, off the island of Ocean City. The initial address on the app site was wrong. I called up. The guy gave us the place where they had moved, right up the road. We pulled in the parking lot. He met us at the door, real friendly. I like that kind of customer service. That was pretty cool.
Good bunch of guys.
Yeah, good bunch of guys. That was cool. So we went there. We picked up some cigars. We didn't stay because we had other things to do. We decided, hey, we'll come back on Wednesday. True to our word, we came back Wednesday, today. And then there was I think it was built in 1774, tavern, also in Summers Point, not far from the cigar shop. We stopped and we had dinner there. So that was really the only itinerary, planned in the moment in the day.
Gotcha.
And likewise for tomorrow, we have nothing planned. It's just going to be whatever we do when we get up.
So it was a place that was open to the public, but you could be a member and have your own locker with your gold nameplate and all
correct.
that for
and access to other perks as well. They have a private lounge upstairs with a pool table, and access to, I believe, food and coffee. There's also a place outside that's open to the public that has chairs and tables, fire pits. There's a place for barbecue, and one of the owners even said they had live bands. So,
Oh, okay.
a really cool place.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting from the photos and from the video. So.
Oh yeah, it's for me. It would be about a 45-minute ride. That's not that far, and I'm actually contemplating joining. We'll see.
Okay.
Something I need to contemplate.
Would it be a good motorcycle ride in the summer, spring, or?
You read my mind. It would absolutely be a good motorcycle ride.
Ah, very good, very good.
Oh yeah. So it'll be someplace. If we don't stop back again before we leave, it'll be something we come back to, at least for the Masculine Geek meetup. If we do that again here,
Gotcha.
next year or the year after. So it'll be a repeat performance. Yeah.
So with TJ staying on the West Coast and James heading down toward Texas, and of course Rob's in Utah, any chance of a traveling meetup to various parts of the country for the Masculine Geek and crew in the future?
Oh yeah, well we still have in mind to reconvene and do our Italy trip.
Okay.
That was supposed to take place last spring, but the Kung flu put a kibosh on that.
Right.
So we're going to revisit that.
And was this trip originally supposed to be in New Orleans?
We were supposed to go to New Orleans, but most of the Airbnbs and Verbos that I had looked into for the French Quarter were non-existent because of all the jazz festivals that were taking place.
Gotcha.
Apparently in the fall, September and October, and even into November, New Orleans is pretty hopping for that kind of stuff. So we decided, hey, you know what? We enjoyed being by the ocean again. We had fun last time. Let's do another one. So here we are. And
Yeah, it looks like it's worked out really well.
I'm sorry, what?
And it looks like it's worked out really well.
Oh, absolutely. Even down to the mild weather. It's been fantastic.
So any highlights besides TJ and his waitress as far as encounters, since obviously that's the topic du jour in the manosphere at the moment is how to get girls. Oh God.
I would, to be honest with you, I would say the highlights are just the general camaraderie that we all have, and how we all get along, and the conversations and the talks that we have.
Well, some of the pictures and stuff, it looks like you guys, I mean, despite being out like on the balcony or in a cigar lounge or somewhere, like, despite the location, it very much, the gathering seems to have a very old school salon gathering of gentlemen's kind of thing, drink,
Correct.
cigar, and being brutally honest with each other and calling each other out on their BS, and
Oh, yeah.
also offering praise
A lot
where
of
it's
bullshit
deserved.
calls.
Is that
That is an accurate description of what's taking place.
okay?
Yep, you put into words what I could not, so thank you.
You're very welcome.
Swung wildly from subject to subject.
Yeah.
One particular highlight for myself is the discovery of a job opportunity, or something that my current skill set could be applied to. So that was a delight.
Correct. Yep.
You understand, I can actually have a day job that doesn't involve food, service, or landscaping.
Exactly.
Well, that's always a positive.
Yeah. One conversation led to another. There was a springboard for something else. So it was. It's been very cool. How about you, Rob? Would you agree?
Yeah.
And they were not initially connected, was it?
No, they're all disconnected. Yeah. Completely.
Yeah.
Well, is that not the way men are when we gather and talk? I mean, we make connections where none are obvious. I mean, that's kind of our skill set.
Correct.
Well, and it's something that it kind of goes back to what we were saying early on. TJ had brought it up about get offline, because a lot of these conversations would seem unnatural or artificial if you were to try to do it via like a text medium.
Mm-hmm.
It would be very difficult, if not even maybe downright impossible, to have it, because your brain works faster than your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're connecting your own dots or whatever, but your fingers can't keep up, and the next thing you know, half of what you were thinking went out the window, especially when you get old.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or you just get to a point you're like, fuck it, and so you don't even bother.
You might have edited it out.
Right.
You know, our conversations here have been filled with advice, woes, ethnic slurs for the Irish, sorts of things that
Courtesy of James.
courtesy of myself, of course.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck
Fuck
up.
up.
For catchphrases and new clips and drops. And you simply don't get those. Like, there's a reason play-by-post tabletop RPGs. Very difficult to keep those things going.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. I've been
Very.
in a few of those. It takes discipline and a passionate focus.
Every single
Yeah.
person has to be willing to check that thing
Yeah.
once a day at the very least, if
Yeah.
not 6 times a day.
Yeah.
To make it work and function as well as a good group in real life can do so, or even over voice.
And I'm even thinking of back in the day before the internet, the actual play-by-mail posts games.
I remember those.
Yeah.
One person breaks the chain, and they
And
can
it's
set the
done.
entire thing.
It'd be like months before you hear anything. Yeah.
Yeah, horrific, absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
So when you are in person, and this is the lesson I came to after I first met Mesco and Geek, this 2 years past,
Correct.
was listen, meeting up the meat space, MEAT,
Mm-hmm.
encountering one another, having a physical connection with one, like the bro hug or whatever the fuck it's called nowadays.
Right.
When you first meet somebody,
The back slaps and high fives.
the back slaps and high fives immediately tells you what sort of interaction this is going to be.
Hey, if you're not being made fun of by them, they're not your friend.
Exactly.
Probably not.
Yeah.
If I don't shit talk you in the first 10 seconds, you probably ought to worry.
Exactly. If Rob is not making fun of you, he doesn't like you.
You're not wrong.
Exactly. If he doesn't say something
Well,
disparaging about your mother.
nuance seems to be something that's pretty much a lost art at the moment, especially in the internet age. And and context and nuance and subtlety and tone is non-existent on Twitter. I mean, it even if you would want it to be there, obviously if you know someone well enough, as you guys know each other, having been in the same place, having shared a meal, shared a drink, etc., you shit post something on Twitter, well, that, that's from Rob. I know what Rob means by that, and you go on.
Yeah,
Whereas,
you're not offended by it.
right. Whereas if it's someone else who you've never met, it's kind of like with, I don't know Aaron. I feel like I know Aaron, but I don't. So I'm not completely comfortable. I am comfortable setting him up for one of you guys to do something to him.
And we appreciate that.
We appreciate the help, yes.
Thank you
Yeah.
for your service.
Thank you for your assistance.
But I don't feel like I've earned that yet, because it's, Aaron doesn't know me from crap. He just, he's been on a couple of shows with me and knows, oh yeah, he's that dude that has all that crap in his office and all those books. That's all he, so. But you're right. It's just a very different thing to be together, and
There's a different dynamic, absolutely. Yep.
And what's sad is it seems like we need that every bit as much, if not more, than the female of the species. Yet that is something over the last 50 years has been almost completely lost. There, in my youth at least, guys having a bowling night that wasn't a wife and husband bowling teams. The guy went out and bowled with the other guys. The guy went to his lounge or lodge meeting, or those kind of things. And it seems like over the course of my lifetime, that's been taken away. And whether it's been taken away because men have chosen, well, I need to work more hours in the day for whatever reason, or oh no, I need to be there because in order to be a good husband and father, I need to sacrifice everything that brings me joy in life to prove what a dutiful white knight husband I am. So hopefully, after being married 10 years, she doesn't leave me for some dude she met on the internet, which inevitably happens anyway.
Well, I think you're touching on a good point, and I think part of it is this probably goes back 40 or 50 years, maybe a little less. I think most men are trying to make their spouse, their girlfriend, their significant other fulfill all their needs.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said this before, and I'll die saying it. Your significant other is not your friend. Not in the sense of male friendship. It's
right.
Different. Men and women are different. They're very different in their friendships. Your wife is not.
She's not your buddy.
Tattoo this backwards on your ass and your goddamn fucking forehead. Your wife is not your friend. Doesn't mean you're not friendly, and you maybe you do some compromise together to get the shit.
Doesn't mean you don't love her.
Yeah, you don't love her. To get shit together to raise the family, to raise your children. But your wife, your lover, not your friend. Not your friend. And I think that's part of the problem. So those spaces were diminished by that. Shut the fuck up. So those spaces were diminished by that. The male, attempting to make his significant other his end all and be all. And it doesn't work that way. You see a lot of guys who, I forget who was talking about, I think it was Stephen Mansfield. He was mentioning something to the effect of, most men, if they were in a crisis situation, like say they went away on vacation, or they were away in a business deal, they're out of the house, and if something happened back home, like say his son or daughter wound up in jail, or in the hospital, does that man have a good friend that he can call and rely on to help bail or assist his family? And the sorry state of affairs is no, these men do not. So
No, they do not.
they do not. It's not the tumor. So to your point, over these past decades, no, men have attempted to rely too much on their significant others for everything: sex, companionship, friendship, comfort, even to some extent resource, everything. Now,
That's not fair to them either.
Exactly. They can't be all that. You're right, Rob. It's not fair to them. What we try to do here with Masculine Geek is not just talk. We're talking about this, and intellectually you're getting it, but we're demonstrating what to do. You can only affect change by being the change that you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Just talking's not going to do it. So we're an example of what to do. That's what this is. That's why I'm posting the stuff that I do. Is it bragging a little bit? Are we flexing? Of course, it's kind of cool, but it's also sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sharing. We're sharing. Yeah, we're sharing. We're sharing what we're doing.
Well, yeah, it's like with me and the waitress. Like, I'm not saying that just
You're flexing a little bit, and you should. You
I'm
absolutely
just.
should.
But I think at the same time, like, I think guys need a little bit of encouragement to go. You spend too much time online, you get negative or whatever. Like, you got to go out, and especially when you meet girls who give off a good positive energy or vibe or whatever, like they're flirtatious or whatever, or they're friendly and they've got a little bit of spunk. Like, you've got to appreciate that and respond to that, and feed off of that, and they feed off of you, and it's a good thing. Then they go home or they go around their friends and they're up in the air, and like it has a multiplier effect.
We ask the question literally all the time, would you want to switch? We don't necessarily, but a lot of guys, like Rollo will mention this, or Rich will mention this. Would you want to switch places with that guy?
No.
Everybody, right.
For the most part, yeah. Fundamentally.
It's
not for nothing.
Every time somebody sees that picture of, for instance, DJ with the waitress, would you want to switch places with that guy?
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Would you it has to be a little bit of
exactly. What would you would someone watching this listen hey, that looks and sounds like fun. Would I want to be there? Would I want to be doing something?
I want to be there smoking that cigar. We want that answer to be yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Looking out at the ocean swims, cigars, hanging out, talking, discussing, making plans.
Well, you've got to show it. I mean,
your current situation.
Exactly. What was that, Robert?
Well, I was gonna say you've got to show it, because I mean, how many times on one of Rich's shows or Rollo on Sunday, how many times has he answered the same question to the same group of guys over and over again? And for how many years have they been doing it? Where TJ just went and did it, and he's got the picture for proof. And the same thing with you guys, we can talk till we're blue in the face about guys need their own space, and this is Stiffwood Country Club, and in order to be a member, you have to have a member, and but you can say that, but if you don't do it, where you guys are doing it, it's like men need to get together and hang out and do things with your friends and have their own space, or you can actually do it. It's kind of like a couple of days ago, someone had posted something about Doc Savage, and I'm like, yeah, 2021 is proof we need Doc Savage every bit, if not more, than we did in 1933. Exactly. But guess what? You can either sit there and wait for Doc Savage to show up and rescue you, which isn't going to happen, or you can spend, starting today, attempting to become Doc Savage, to become better than you were the day before. And you're probably going to fail, and you're probably going to quit. But law of averages, if we had Aaron crunch the numbers, the math would probably say, yeah, if you take 100 guys and they're like, okay, we're going to do this, most are going to crap out and give up on their own. But, who knows? You might end up being at least a little bit better, because instead of like, oh, my wife is my best friend, and I can't do that because we're saving for a family vacation, and et cetera, whatever excuse you want to make, or you just up and do it. And it's like, what?
Fine. You can save for a family vacation. I get what you're saying. You can absolutely save for a family vacation, but
that doesn't mean you can't go bowling with your friends on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean,
or at least just go, hey, I'm going to get together with Kevin, and we're going to go have dinner.
Yeah, and maybe it's not every Friday night. You have to say, like, take us seriously, not literally. Take Robert seriously, not literally. Maybe it's not the boys go bowling every Friday night. Maybe for you it's once a month.
Yeah.
Right? But you're still making contact with your buds.
Yeah, you're making that conscious effort, that conscious decision to be a. Here we go.
Oh boy.
We have a guest waiting in the studio. that I think everyone knows, and I have to say he's vindicated because the two people that have drunken, whatever, imbibed the most rum. I took care of the Kraken bottle, and TJ has taken care of the Pusser's bottle. Pusser.
Ladies and
Ladies
gentlemen,
and gentlemen,
without further ado,
Wild West Captain
Aaron Clary!
in his bowling shirt.
I hate to say it's been such a bad summer. I actually miss you guys. That's how bad it's been.
We miss you too.
Nice.
I accidentally summoned him by mentioning him earlier in the show. Is that what happened?
It took a while to conjure up because he's lazy.
I appreciate you guys holding out. I forgot. I'm like, oh crap, you guys are on East Coast time, and I had a bunch of work to do, and so I ran back home.
Aaron, you work?
You should have drove it until you got home faster.
Do I work? That's funny. Oh God. Ask TJ how it is selling one house, moving into another, and moving all of his stuff and getting it.
No excuse. You've already moved.
Well, Tommy also doesn't know the whole story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. There's a lot more that we can't talk about here.
How? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. How is the village by the strip club or whatever locale we have now? And did this village by the X involve wandering around in fields and looking at trees?
Yeah, actually it did.
You did? Okay, good.
It also involved some girls.
It involved women. It involved cigar lounges. It involved axe throwing. Lots of alcohol. Looking out into the ocean and contemplating our lives in the universe.
A few midnight swims.
We answered some existential questions that plague all men at nighttime.
But you didn't write them down because you were too drunk?
No, I wrote them down in my journal and forgot them in my leather jacket in one of the taverns we went to. So there you go.
Out of curiosity, did y'all moon or whip off Jack Napier and Troy Francis across the Atlantic?
Did we what?
Moon or whip off Jack Napier and Troy Francis across the Atlantic?
We did not drop trowel. Although James was walking around without his swimsuit. So yeah.
Well, say this: they did it first because that was that beaming light that we saw.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yes.
Okay, so Jack hit us with the moon first, and we were quite disappointed.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
We had our binoculars out, and all we saw was the gleam.
The gleam. We were blinded, quite frankly.
From his lily white ass.
It's literally white ash. Ash. It's not ass. It's ash.
Hey, now, did one of you guys fly Spirit? Because I saw someone posted a picture, and I was like, well, wait, did someone actually fly Spirit Airlines, or was someone just, they saw it?
No, I didn't post Spirit. I flew Delta. I'm not flying like a peasant.
Yeah. and on top of this, and I told Rob that once he flies this way, he'll never go back because I've done it. I'm like, I'll never not fly first class.
Yeah, first class is what, but I have loosened the purse strings a little bit, and it is proven.
Wait, what is that day that we had that incredible snowstorm nationwide?
Hellstorm.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, this was when I realized that if you're going to fly Spirit Airlines, it's worth dropping the extra $8 to $10 to get into the front of the plane, because all the trash with the screaming kids from 7 different fathers, drunk or recovering, hungover from Vegas, are the cheapest ones possible. So they go into the back. So if you spend $5-10, you can avoid sitting with the genuine trash of America.
Hey, Aaron's not gay, but $20 is $20.
That's true.
That's right. That's right. It all adds up. Soon you got 100. Then you get Then you get a girl who has all of her teeth.
That's a lot of dick sucking, Aaron.
So is this official Masculine Geek podcast? Or you guys just doing S's and G's?
No, well, it's a shits and giggles sort of conversation, but it is an official Wednesday night Masculine Geek broadcast. Yes.
Cool. Are you guys? It looks from the pictures, I presume it's the same area beforehand, or a village by the ocean.
It's the village by the sea. It is on the same street, maybe 4 or 5 blocks from the other one.
Okay, yeah, because it looked almost identical. I'm like, boy, it looks the exact same place.
Well, no, this one is actually twice the size.
Oh, this is nice.
Twice. It was big enough for everybody beforehand.
It was. This is mansion style. Yeah.
Oh. Well, what's with the girls? I know TJ sent me a picture of a redhead. and that was good. I mean,
Yeah.
did you all like get lucky or something or what?
No, we were letting TJ have the spotlight.
Okay, cool. I was impressed with his charisma and his delivery. I was like, wow, dang, that's not bad.
They grow up so fast.
They
Aaron.
do. Just yesterday, his balls dropped, and now he's already hitting on waitresses. That's
TJ, what are you drinking out of? We got the mead. Mead. TJ is drinking mead out of a Viking horn.
not like a little like sippy cup or something like that.
No, we had that earlier. We had to get rid of it because it had some mold on it.
Oh, it kept spilling it or something like that too. No.
These bastards tried to give it to me at the Irish pub.
They did.
I have nothing else exciting to say. I'm physically and mentally exhausted. One of these days, you guys could come by Village by what's it going to be? The Canyon?
It'll still be Village by the Dork.
Okay, good.
We come out to visit you, Aaron.
The Village of the Plains.
Village by the Dork.
Well, I'm right juxtaposed between the mountains and the plains. If you pull out of my house and you drive down towards Hermosa,
in the swamp in your backyard.
well, no, I've converted it into a pond. I've learned a lot of things about carpentry and maintenance and drainage. And what I did is I created a little bit of a dam because there's water that comes in, created the swamp area. So ended up having it dredged a little bit. And then I built a dam where the stream continued on, raised the water level. So now I've upgraded it from a swamp to a pond. And I may even, if it cleans up a little bit, I may even stock fish in it.
How about some beavers?
Beavers? I don't know. Those are inside the house.
Well, at least you'll see a beaver in your lifetime.
Dude, the women out here are hideous. They are they're uglier than I remember.
I listened to the Great Ones podcast he described.
Wait, so women in South Dakota are hideous?
That's what the Great One said.
Or just in their swamp?
No, they're it's basically just an extension of Wyoming. There's a little bit more culture and less crime and slightly less single moms, but it's horrific. And I didn't come out here think, oh, there's going to be a ton of babes, but I go to the Walmart regularly, and which I know is selection bias, but I'm just like, man, this is
the Walmart columns.
Yeah, and then you had the Sturgis rally and just a bunch of fat old people, and it's just it doesn't boost your spirits. You're kind of like, I ain't going to war for any of this. Huh?
So Cappy. So how's the Great One taking that? I know that I was tempted to send him the photo of me with the redhead, but I felt like he was going to explode because I know he's in Rapid City.
The tragedy of the Great One is that he did a lot of serious hardcore work to his body. The guy's got a six pack. He's shredded, haircut, a bunch of other things, and he went from, I would say, a 6 to about a 9, especially if you adjust for his age. And he's a taller fellow too. And the tragedy is that he did it for no damn reason because there are literally no women to attract in this state. But yeah, I mean, kudos to him because he did put a lot of effort into it. But yeah, when you guys come here, it's not like, oh yeah, I know this bar. No, there's no place I know where there are attractive women. Maybe
we want to go there again. Why?
I was just saying, why
yeah, like if I'm going, dude, I'm not for my.
You have to fly her own women? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Do I have to fly the redhead over? Because she'll do it.
Okay, well, have her come over. She might. She's certainly welcome. But I mean, there's no attractive women, so Rob will be okay. He'll feel like he's at home. He'll have plenty of options. But for those of us who do have tastes and aren't on the verge of going gay or going for little boys.
Well, to be fair, Cappy, you thought Ingrid Bergman looked like a man.
She does look like a man.
This is the guy that likes Michelle Obama.
I will stand. I don't say I like her, but I say she's a very feminine and attractive woman. I will stand by that.
Oh, sweet G.
Yeah,
you're
so consider the source here.
Dude, this isn't the Bismarck getting sunk. This is the Bismarck sinking itself.
All right, but think about how ugly the women are. If I think Michelle Obama is attractive, I mean, they got to be absolutely hideous here.
No.
Again, why do we want to go out there?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Aaron, we're just going to pull you over to Dallas and we'll host it there.
Yeah.
I got it.
From what I've heard.
I got to go to Dallas at the end of this month and do a seminar for Donovan. He's got another conference.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I'll be down there late October. Why is there? I know, what is it? Quintus Curious is down there. Oh no, that was, you guys are in Kansas City that one
We're in
time,
Kansas
right?
City, we met with
Another waitress.
I'm moving down there.
James is moving to Texas.
When, like 2027, when he gets off his ass or something, or what?
I have a lease down there right now, motherfucker. I actually pulled the bunch on this one.
So your mom paid your allowance, and now you can finally move out.
Mom gave him a
saving
trip.
up $20 a week for it.
He finally broke that piggy bank.
Yeah, Mom signed his field trip notice. He can go on a field trip.
Speaking of James, I had to do a Clary test on Chris Chan, and I was off. I kind of reminded me of it. You don't want to know. You don't want to. I thought if you guys knew who he was, you get the joke. But trust me, this guy is. And James, I'm kidding, of course, but this guy is effed up. He got arrested for molesting his ma, and he's.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep. But and.
So wait, you're going out to a convention when?
October 21st through the 24th.
Okay, and what is your focus in this convention?
My focus usually, as always, will be finance, and the seminar I'm doing, or the speak I'm doing, is what bachelors are to do with their millions. Because I've
with no beautiful women. Is that what you're going to say?
Well, it's more that most guys aren't having kids.
Oh, okay.
And there's a significant percentage of the population, bachelorettes too, but obviously this will be heavily attended male. But it's an estate planning, retirement planning, will and testament issue. Like, well, what do you do? Because you're single, you don't have no kids, you don't have no wife, you didn't get divorced, you have equity in your home, and you don't have any debt, and then there's no one to pass this on to. So what should you do with it? So I delve into like estate planning for rich bachelors.
Yeah. All right. Gotcha. Okay. And it's for 3 days?
Yep. For 3 days. Yep. And so I don't know if you guys know Silvio Canto. He's down there. He does a show called Canto Talk. He escaped Cuba when he was a kid, and they refugeed him, or whatever the term is, in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And so now he's almost a 60-year-old man, and he has a real interesting background because he's from Cuba. He has all this Cuban culture, but he's a huge Green Bay Packer fan. But he resides down there in Dallas. I'm going to visit him. Elkins might have himself a girl.
What?
Yeah.
The first one ever?
Well, and one without a penis. It's a real girl. So she's down there too. I set him up because she was a client. So she's like, she wants to make me dinner and show me around. So that's cool too. But yeah, so I'm going to go visit. I don't want to say Chad's girlfriend, but Chad's prospect.
Chad's lover.
No, let's not go that far. Let's not be that optimistic.
But if we say Chad's lover, it's endearing to Chad.
Yeah, it's helping Chad
So
out. Yeah, let's help Chad out.
Yeah, I am. I'm helping him out. I set him up, so it should be good.
Chad's woman.
Chad's gal.
This isn't a gal you found at the Walmart there in
No.
Texas, right?
No.
Fucking Walmart golem.
I didn't find it. It was at the truck stop. That's why I found it.
I didn't know if they resurrected the Gem Saloon in Deadwood and you were trolling for girls for them there.
I'm kind of curious. You know about the Gem Saloon? It's there, but it's new. It's not in its original spot.
Well, the original one burnt down, if I remember reading correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So lots. So basically, you're saying the women out there are all descendant of the soiled doves that used to work at the Gem back in.
Yes,
Deadwood
it is.
days, right?
And it's worse than, because I came out here about like 13, 14 years ago. I spent 2 full summers, and there was, some attractive women. Nothing that they were average. Like, you wouldn't say, "Oh my God, they're hideous." But I've been making a lot of runs, obviously, to Menards and Fleet Farm and Walmart and all that. And you just look around, and it's just like, I know, not to get too serious, but like, it's so disheartening to be part of this culture where everyone's so freaking ugly and fat, and the guys too. It's you just feel like you're surrounded by a bunch of people missing chromosomes. Like, I don't want to breed or be. So I'm going to get it too. I'm going to catch what they got too. So No, there's and all. Oh gosh, just every stereotype imaginable. The single mom at midnight with their 3 kids, and it's just the kids are dressed for crap. They all look horrible, like sad and depressed.
Mm.
Yeah, and guys with the guts hanging out, and although it was funny during the Sturgis rally, I saw 2 fat Harley dipshits spill their bikes. It was great. They didn't know how to ride it, but unfortunately,
they probably didn't ride out the Sturgis. They had them trucked in.
yeah, easily, yeah. If you go to the airport, I was trying to figure out what was going on, and you see all these. Of course, this always happens.
Is that your boyfriend calling?
No, it's the girlfriend. She always. I think I'm just gonna turn off this phone anytime I go on the internet because
for the best.
Everybody.
You know what?
Hey, did she give you permission to be on the internet, Cappy?
Yeah, she did. She signed it because she's back in Minneapolis, so I got a month-long pass to use the interwebs whenever I want. So
I may have mentioned this before, but you know what I find very endearing and consistent and restores my faith in the universe?
Asian chicks? I don't know what. Which
too, but aside from that, the blue rubber band around your microphone.
yes. The price right now is $3,000. If someone raises $3,000, I'll take it off and put a new one on. Also, I'm auctioning off my college degree, and the current bid is $450.
Wow, that's all it's worth.
I don't even think it's worth that much from the Carlson School of Management. I think it's a negative net value. It has absolutely no value. But
I could buy that, put it in my office.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Well, everything's under control. Situation normal.
Yeah, they're not going to read the.
They're not going to read the fine print. Yeah.
So how long is the Village by the Sea going on?
We leave on Saturday morning.
Okay, and then who was that guy? He was like the almost borderline Nazi right-wing leading guy, academic, younger fella. He started like American Renaissance or something like that. Andrew Spencer? Richard Spencer. Why has TJ got his hair cut?
What?
Why does TJ have Richard Spencer's haircut?
Because it looks attractive when you're not fat.
Oh.
No. So it's called a curtain cut, and it was from Brad Pitt in the movie Fury.
The tank.
Oh yeah, you're right. He did have that.
So,
Isn't it the movie where every bullet he fired magically hit Nazis right in the heart?
Pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
As well they should.
And by the way, Cappy, it's gotten very positive reviews from
the female
opposite. Yeah, the opposite gender.
Good. So what? I know there's the waitress, but what, have you been having success with gals over in Washington or what?
Well, let's just say I'm not sitting there beating down my door, but occasionally I do have people coming to me and saying, really like the haircut.
Oh. Of the female persuasion, I assume.
Yeah, and they're not exactly. They don't look like Michelle Obama for you.
Nobody does.
But it's like my motorcycle. My Honda Rebel. I have people who just randomly come up to me and say, "I love your bike, dude." And that's guys who love motorcycles and are into motorcycles. Haircut, yes, it's gotten
female persuasion.
Yes, in the 2 years I've been wearing it, I've gotten a lot of.
I'll take credit for that.
Yeah, I'm going to give you credit to Vince. It's been very positive.
Do you show girls that you're missing an elbow, or do you not get to that point of the conversation?
that one photo that you sent out, it was a dude that he was flying in the air, and underneath was a motorcycle.
Oh yeah, where I did everyone's motorcycle riding habits. Sure,
yes.
I remember that. And I put Jack. I found a picture of a guy with Down syndrome riding a trike. I said Jack Napier.
Cappy, you remember that photo I put of you where it said, "Please be patient, I have autism."
On the hat.
No, where was that one?
I don't think you sent that to him.
No, dude, he totally did that.
Well, wait, that was in the chat though, right?
No, I put it on the internet.
You put that on the internet?
Yes.
Why didn't you really tag us all on it?
Yeah, you got to tag me in these.
Yeah, Aaron's mind is like I said. Here's what's going to happen. we'll discuss the fact that in the springtime we're going out to Village by the Dork, and we have. Aaron, 2 weeks from now, will call me up and ask me to come out.
Hey,
in
dude, have
December.
you ever thought of coming out and visiting us?
Like we just had a fucking conversation about we're coming out in the spring. I guess that's age, right?
No, it's actually I've been the past 4 months have been the busiest of my life since college, or except for college. And it's actually exhausting, and I have a calendar and I don't have things written down necessarily, and I forget unless it's like mission critical. That I don't.
Are you colorblind?
Why? Do I?
Oh, Doctor referring that in the chat.
No, I'm not colorblind. No.
Okay.
I think that's coffee. The coffee alarm is going off.
You guys having coffee this late?
James mainlines coffee the entire time.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yes.
With or without Irish whiskey.
So I had a home remedy.
He did.
So, Cappy, I gotta ask you.
Thank you. Yeah.
All the dates that you went on, all the times you flirted, did you
Case in
ever
point.
Yeah.
flirt
So you
with
started
your waitress
by saying it.
that
Yes,
way?
exactly.
So
Did I ever? Replay it for me in my mind again. Remember, you said something incredibly. You said I want a redhead, a cute redhead as a drink.
She was a redhead, and she came up to me, and I was looking at the different drinks that the cocktails. She
Right.
goes, so she said, which one do you want? And I looked at her deadpan and said, I want the sexy redhead.
All right, and then she got all flustered and everything.
Oh, her face turned as red as her hair, and she was about to say. And then I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I mispronounced. I'll take," and I just named the drink that I had.
What
in mind.
was the drink? I forget.
It's called the Stinger.
Stinger, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow, the sexy redhead, and there was a pause where she was trying to is that actually on the
Yeah.
sexy
Oh.
menu?
And then she
You didn't realize
realized
you were talking
that I
about
was
her.
talking-
Even with the mascot, you got to watch the realization cross her face.
You just saw the red blossom up her cheeks above the mask she was wearing.
Like she was being asked out to prom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That gives me faith and hope. I mean, that's a good story. That's a good, happy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the thing is, what led up to that is that she was this really sweet gal. We were chatting, and I ordered my wine, and she gave me the history of that wine from the Roman Greek era, and she was very animated,
Very
very
knowledgeable.
playful,
Yeah.
very knowledgeable and playful. I'm like, this gal needs attention. She deserves it. She's
Okay.
entitled.
You gave it to her.
And she hooked on to you specifically. When you mentioned things, she was
She was
ready.
laser focused on TJ.
I'm not gonna
I
say.
mean, look at him.
Well, not only that, but
Yeah, compared to you schmucks, yeah, I guess I would have to look at TJ
Yeah,
if full
exactly.
steam.
Oh, it
Again,
can't all be
again.
you and your sexy
Again,
bowling
again.
shirt.
Listen, I can only be listened to, not looked at.
Well, again, I'm not gonna brag, but after we were done taking the photos and stuff like that, I gave her a little pat on the side and said, "Good girl."
Right on the ass.
Wow, where'd you develop this? Are you done reading things in practice and actually reading things in theory and putting them into practice, or what?
Taking some
No,
photos
Aaron,
from
I'm
Robert.
gonna be like all the virgin towels, where I'm gonna sit and complain for the rest of my life about how I can't get the girls.
Right?
Oh, God. So I have to admit my rudeness, but Robert, how are you? Are you gaming with the guys, or how do you?
Oh, Robert, I forgot you were there.
Wait,
Oh, Johnny, I'm sorry, I forgot you were there.
You may go now.
You may go now.
I'm assuming you mean Robert me or Rob?
Yeah,
Robert?
not. I know where Rob says comes from. We all know where Rob.
Yeah.
I'm talking the non-Rob.
Fuck you, Rob.
I'm talking the Rob who.
It doesn't sound like when you're pitching your nose and you're talking like this. You see, Jack, the thing with women is you gotta go and see them and look at them. They should have two eyes. Otherwise, you don't really want to have sex with a girl with one eye.
You forgot the let him burn part.
She just needs tits in a heartbeat.
Preferably blind.
Oh, shit.
Non-nasal Rob. Have we ever been formally introduced?
Yeah, normally I'm gaming with these guys on certain Wednesdays, but tonight I'm just kind of hanging out from my casa as they hang out in Shea Masculine Geek over there on the
Shea Jersey.
yeah, on the East
Yeah.
Coast. So
Yeah, don't hate Aaron. Don't be jealous.
I'm not hating. Am I asking? Why did I ask? You got a podcast, or what? You just regular geek?
Hey, Aaron, have you ever thought of writing books?
No, you should think about it sometime though. Although I have to admit, TJ, I'm real impressed like with your volume. Like you had that Pilgrim's Digress, and that was really good. And then all of a sudden, bang, you came out with the other one I got in the mail, and I was like, God dang it, it's Audible. Or not Audible. And so I was like, so I got it by my bedside. I'm slowly migrating towards opening it up and reading a couple pages. So
I know it takes so much energy for you to actually do something productive with your life because
you know what? I'll show you guys pictures of the house like before and after. You're gonna see a lot of work. I have not gone to the gym.
Contributing to the GDP.
No, I'm not, because it's all like me doing my own labor. Yeah.
Aaron is
You know who else doesn't contribute to the GDP? Communists.
Communists.
Commie Cappy.
Commie Cappy. I love it. Captain Communism.
You know,
Communism.
comrade communism.
Comrade Cappy.
You know who technically also doesn't contribute to GDP? Government workers and guys who live at home with their moms. That's who also don't contribute to GDP.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Cappy, you got to read that. Trust me, you'll be howling and loving it.
Okay.
This will commit. If you like Casablanca, you will like this book.
Yeah.
So it looks like a very serious book on the cover. Is it more lighthearted than what I imagine it?
No, it's not lighthearted at all.
It's Casablanca, but
Sci-fi.
but Star Wars.
It's the Star Wars version of Casablanca.
Okay. All right. So it's lightsabers and Sam beating up the Nazis or something. I'll figure it out.
You'll be okay.
I'll look for the parallels.
You're not a retard Spurg yet.
Yeah, but here's an important question. Is there a female interest or character, like a main female? Okay, did you at least write her to be prettier than Ingrid Bergman?
He's on fire, right?
Sure, Cappy. If that helps you,
right?
I mean, it won't take a lot. I mean,
I'll say she looks like a silverback.
The wind is strong in you today, Aaron Clary.
I haven't talked to a group of guys in quite some time. It's been visitors.
Since your last bathhouse.
I've been dealing with all my clients, most of which are sane, but
your male clients.
All male, yes. All three.
I'm just trying to imagine how I'm going to describe to someone, okay, the girl you're talking about on a scale of Ingrid Bergman to Michelle Obama, where does she fall? And
she falls on the, if you don't think she's attractive, you're gay. Gay.
Wow, that's a lot of gays.
Anyway, no, I've been very busy, and the reason I was late is because I ended up I'm so busy that what your response is to raise prices. So this guy had a request that was rather involved, actually required some math and some research.
He didn't just want, one thing. He wanted everything.
He wanted me to wear a little outfit and do my consulting.
You loved him long time.
So I said,
Cappy, you should have set up an OnlyFans.
So I said, look, it's going to take several hours. It's going to be $300, and I understand if you can't pay today. Well, he paid, and it's like, well, shit. Now I got to do the work, and it's been nonstop. And so, yeah.
You're not going to next hit him with like, listen, I was actually lowballing you, so I could get you off my plate.
But no, it's been a lot. Like my mom came to visit, and it was that was a pain in the ass. And
your mom's a pain in the ass.
Well, everyone's mom is, you all love your mom.
A typical experience in the male mind.
So, but yes, it was. And then I had another friend come, and he brought his puppy dog, which is not trained, and that was pointless. And
pissed all over the house.
no, he did not. He's thankfully potty trained, but like jumping on furniture with sharp claws, with the teeth in the claws.
The teeth in the claws. A monster with teeth in the claws.
Shredding my couch. Oh my goodness! There goes the Walmart.
Together, mass hysteria.
A monster with teeth and claws.
Get your fucking pooch out of here before I shoot him. Hoyle.
Oh,
Yeah.
lady.
Oh, lady, where'd your puppy go there, buddy? I don't know where he went. The dog may have been buried. I don't know. The
Don't-
flowers over there are growing nice with the colors and the prettiness.
Don't with the loud thing, wink with the whisper talk.
Right, Layton.
We have a question from Andrew S.
Andrew West.
Yes. Would you like to read this?
I would like to read.
You can lean over our shoulders or look at your own.
James can make himself useful.
You be productive.
Exactly. How do I get 10 girls? Is how that's
Yeah,
pronounced.
but he probably meant the right. He's dyslexic.
I have no means of evaluating that, and so I shall not assume.
Thank you for the 223, Andrew S. And welcome to the Masculine Geek Village by the Sea 2021 gathering. Yes, we are at the shoreline. If I was to pan the
I can tell him how to get to girls.
girls, if I was to pan the webcam out the windows and doors,
I can
you
tell 'em.
couldn't see shit. It was dark.
Do you want me to tell 'em?
But the ocean is out there. I'll tell one. I think the girl.
Answer the question.
Answer the question. Go ahead. Good, TJ. Answer the question.
Be me.
That's true. Be TJ.
Hang on. Is all this confidence coming because you got like a phone number of one waitress? Or like has there been like a string of victories here?
Tell yourself that.
Well, I don't know. What are you swimming in poon? What's going on? What?
Yeah, Cappy hasn't been on Twitter. He only does that when he's on vacation.
Yeah.
No,
He didn't hear about Kansas City either, did he?
He didn't. No.
No, not yet.
Oh,
Keep that quiet.
Yeah, we'll keep it quiet.
did Rob go to bed?
Rob, I don't know. He went back towards the back of the house. He's probably dropping a deuce.
Okay, good. Just
It was a fairly large dinner. Courtesy of TJ.
It was TJ bought us dinner.
nice.
It was that we ordered the most expensive things on the menu, of course.
Good. Did you guys go to that little diner place we went to that one time? Within walking distance?
We did not go to the diner place, but we did go to the Mexican place.
Cool. That's all right.
We thought of you for maybe half a second, and
Thank you. Thank you.
absolutely, yes.
Appreciate it. Did you sexually violate Rob on the table like you did the last time?
We do that regularly, so that's
Good.
It's not,
Just take your hand, throw everything off the table.
exactly.
Pick his little gnome ass up and put him down.
He's made a habit these past 2 years.
He
It's
has.
no longer an event.
It's pretty much de rigueur.
So I'm assuming you guys didn't eat anywhere that Cappy had sent you coupons for, right?
No, we did not. Rob, we did not eat anywhere that Aaron gave us coupons for.
Or Aaron, yeah.
We didn't
Did
go
I-
IHOP and we didn't go down to McDonald's or anything like that.
Okay, and we
Or
certainly go to Perkins.
Yeah, we didn't go to Perkins.
We
Who
all
did I send?
buy-
Did I send you guys all Perkins? I know I sent several people Perkins, but
I got this letter. All right, I got this envelope with this shitty handwriting. I'm like, who the fuck do I know in blah blah blah? And I open it up, and there's nothing inside the goddamn envelope but a Perkins fucking coupon.
Yeah.
Yes. That's it. That's it. It's a Perkins fucking coupon.
I had to go and ask for several. They're like, well, usually you have to buy food to get. I'm like, I'm going to give it to a guy. And she understood. I mailed one.
She's
You're
like,
gonna give it to a guy, huh?
Yeah, she understands. She totally understands because that's
Get your gay ass out of here. Have as many as you want.
Sir,
Hey.
just horny, get out of here.
Good thing there's a truck stop by the Perkins over in Minneapolis where I used to live.
Bacon, thank you for the 556.
Well, Cappy, you're used to dealing with truckers.
Is here. So if there's a Masculine Geek meetup out this way, what will it be called? Village by the Leafs? I'm asking for a friend here. If I recall, Bacon is in the Pacific Northwest.
We're not going anywhere.
Which is
near
why
there.
we're not going anywhere
We'll
near
never-
because
we'll never
TJ
get-
will never let us forget it.
Exactly. We will never be out that area, unfortunately. Or
No.
fortunately, depending upon
Never hear the end of it. We will likely never escape.
Exactly. You would probably be murdered.
Take it up
Wouldn't it be instead of Village by the Leafs, kind of Village by the Street Feces or something like that?
Village by the poo.
Village by the Chop.
Village by the shell.
Yeah.
That's not specific enough.
Village by the insane asylum. That is
Them
Washington
Camden.
State. Washington
Are we boring you, Aaron?
No, I'm just tired. I do physical labor all day, and then I do videos.
No, like satisfying other men, I'm sure it's exhausting.
In that bowling shirt.
I'm too tired.
I know. Do you actually? No, this is a serious question. Do you actually bowl?
Yeah, I do actually.
Really?
Over at the Southern Command, I got a pair of bowling shoes because I enjoy going bowling quite a lot.
Oh,
And so-
when we come out there, let's go bowling.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool,
So,
yeah.
yeah, no, I'm not good at it, but I enjoy it.
Are you one of those guys who actually cares about the rules anymore?
Am I what?
Are you one of those guys who actually cares about the rules anymore?
Of bowling?
The Big Lebowski, you retard.
I hated that movie. That was one of the worst movies the
Retard.
Simon brothers ever made. No, that's not that. They don't sing it in that. That's what I came up with.
No.
No, we know you did. Yes.
That's the point. We're saying you think that the Big Lebowski was a dumb movie. We're saying
Worst Coen brothers movie ever. Hail Caesar was really good.
that's the guy who thought Dr. Strangelove was a bad movie and thought Michelle Obama is hotter than Ingrid Bergman.
Yeah, you don't
I
have
can't.
Your opinion
Is
the
less
great,
than
as the
worthless.
great one has also said, your opinion on these matters.
He said some 70s Roger Moore with Harry Blackbush was better than Goldfinger, which it obviously was not.
It was For Your Eyes Only, and it was a French
The end?
model.
All right. But wasn't it in the 70s?
No, it was 1981.
Yeah, one of those.
Oh.
Probably. Got a couple of shots to use.
Yeah.
Hey, did anyone see the new Bond or no?
Make a plan!
I saw it when we were at the cigar lounge. I was viewing a preview of it, but I did not actually see it. No.
Talk to your younger brother over in Dutchland, Jack. He's seen it.
Did he like it or anything? I'm not going to see it. I'm just kind of curious if it's good or not.
He said it was actually all right.
Oh, all right.
So
I've heard they did quite a. The initial uproar about them cucking James Bond basically was enough that over the 1.5 year delay of releasing the movie, they did quite a bit of reshooting and some re-editing to lessen that.
the cucking
what
was
I've
more
heard.
a marketing thing with the trailers, according to Jack.
So
That when you actually
ended the
watched the movie, some of the stuff was taken out of context in the 30-second spot promo type shit.
Okay.
Imagine that. Conservative retards were yet again used for marketing angles.
Right.
Right.
Because they can't fucking shut their mouths.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
And so, from what he was saying, he kind of went in thinking, it's going to be a shit show. But what he told me last Friday is, he goes, it actually wasn't a bad film.
That's too bad. They lied to me the first time. I'm not gonna, and like what Real Rob said, like they had 1.5 years. Thank God they had COVID, because then they could edit it.
Mhm.
But I was wondering how many, because even before COVID, they were kicking the can down the road several times, and I'm wondering if they're changing shit. Apparently they have.
Yeah, that's
Real quick,
what I've
we're an hour
heard.
and a half in. I want to tell guys 2 things. 1, hit the like button.
Thank you.
2, I want you to send super chats in to tell Vince to finish his wine, because if I go back for another glass, I'm going to look like an alcoholic, and I need him to keep pace with me.
That's true. We have copious amounts of alcohol here, and we are going through right now a bottle of local Chemung Red.
It tastes like my favorite grape juice as a kid.
Right,
just
but it's
happens.
alcohol. So what you're asking the audience is to send super chats in for me to force me to finish this quickly.
Exactly.
Actually-
Each super chat will be a
Drink,
force of
drink,
six.
drink, drink,
Exactly.
drink,
Super
drink,
chat.
drink.
Aaron, super chat that shit in. You're Mr. Moneybags.
What I already tweeted you out. You want me to get my audience to super chat you?
No, you super chat us.
Why would I give Google 30% of my money? Why can't I just PayPal you guys?
You can pay it
It's the GDP.
Here, you guys can also PayPal.
All right, let me run down to the truck stop, earn a couple bucks, and then I'll PayPal you.
Well, why don't you just send them a coupon book?
Boy, Rob, some people would be thankful they receive some valuable coupons from the world's greatest restaurant. They say, wow, look at this.
Well, you know what the best part about those coupons were, Aaron? They were fucking expired.
They were? Oh, that's great. I said something to Model Life John over in Japan.
So basically, he sent you ass wipe. Is what
Yeah, he sent me a piece of toilet paper.
Right.
or a bookmark. I have it used as a bookmark, so it comes in handy.
It's kind of sad. So Rapid City has 3 Perkins, right?
Mhm.
None of which are open 24/7 anymore because they can't find people, and 2 of which are only doing delivery or pickup kind of stuff.
I got tired of waiting for super chats.
No, it's fine. Finish it off.
Are you Vince? Is the Masculine Geek channel, has that been monetized for over a year now? Have you been getting super chats for a year?
About a year, yeah. We're at 1,996 subscribers. We're 4 away from 2,000.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
So anyone who's listening who's not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like, leave a comment, even if it's hey, leave a comment, and make sure you hit the notification bell, because those all tickle the YouTube vagina to let them know that we are relevant to you. So there you go.
And if you guys could charitably subscribe to my channel, I'm in desperate need for more subscribers.
Yeah, because apparently your microphone's about to fall off. You have it bigger.
And if I can get to 100,000, maybe I'll organize. I'll unravel the blue.
You won't. No. Here's what you'll do. You will not replace the actual baffle. You will go ahead and buy more blue rubber bands.
I will.
Yes.
Although I will tell you, I've been forced to be cheap. I would say frugal, but you guys like to use the pejorative. But because the contractors out here are all too busy fucking their daughters and their moms at the same time in gross threesomes, and that's why everyone's ugly in South Dakota. You really have to do all your own contracting. So instead of like going and paying someone to use their materials, like I've had to go like rent stuff. And then I've looked at like, okay, do I want to buy this tool or something like a blowtorch? I was going to get a blowtorch. Or should I just go pull the weeds by hand? It's like, no, I don't want to have a bunch of crap around. I'm only going to use this tool once. So it's ended up where I spend less on materials to save literally time and money to do it by hand.
You can hire Atham, right?
Yeah, then you just have to fly all the way from California.
Well, that's true too. You are cheap.
Yeah, I am cheap. And like none of you guys come visit me anyway, so you know.
Well, there's no reason to.
Well, there's no women out there.
There's Mount Rushmore. There's a ton of hiking. There's fishing. We can shoot guns. There's agates and fossils.
Out here with a face on it.
I know, right?
It's when we begin hacking up a lung again.
Some of the best motorcycle riding where we can watch TJ destroy his other elbow. I mean, you know what isn't to like out here?
I'll destroy
you have a matching set.
I'll destroy the elbow as I throw another waitress over my shoulder and smack her on the ass. So,
TJ.
What's the remedy for my cough again? It's coffee and.
It's Easterano, walnut creamer, and coffee.
Fantastic.
Small amount of
He's
coffee.
taking care of me.
I've been drinking wine. I went with walnut instead of the other
This is
stuff.
really very
So
good.
here's the
This
thing,
is
Gabby.
delicious.
You know, if that gets me another waitress, so be it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it sounds like the waitress is out where Cappy's at. You'd need a crane and like a team of men to lift her up over your shoulders. So.
Yes, you would.
This waitress had been out of the famed land of the Pacific Northwest previously as she was riding the TJ.
Yes, that is true.
So she might go out there again. She's probably, if she has
We have TJ has a plan.
To be continued.
There's going to be another visit. There's going to be another visit to this
Secret rendezvous.
Yeah, there's going to be another visit to this restaurant on Saturday evening.
Cool. He might get all digits to her phone number this time, and maybe an area code too. Who knows? They might actually hold hands in 10 years. That's
It's possible.
well. I'm glad you
They
got
go
a
up
number,
with that.
TJ. I'm glad you got a number.
I didn't.
Soon.
Retard.
How? Okay, help me out. You don't have her number? Are we not allowed to say right now?
Patience, my young Padawan. Patience.
Oh yeah. Okay, Mr. Pew Boy had like.
You don't.
At least back in my day, you had to get a number. Well, what's your Instagram or Snoopy chats or whatever it is?
My young Padawan. You do not understand women.
I think I do. I think I do. I mean, maybe they were, this was 10, 15 years ago and they were a little bit thinner and they, weren't like $500,000 in debt sociology majors working wait staff and desperate to find some guy who looks like he's got money. But I've had my fair share of women in the past. That's
Well, I'll let you know.
all right.
See?
I'll let you know as conditions change.
Exactly. But in all seriousness, Aaron, how have you been?
Bad. I'm not, in all seriousness, I've been pretty bad.
Did the cancer come back?
Okay, guys, I don't know.
Are you walking around with a gay hand?
No, here's how. I'm not kidding, guys. It's been this bad. When I said I'm happy to be on the show, I meant it. That's how bad it is. I'm
Wow,
actually
that
happy to
is
see you guys.
That is pretty bad.
It is.
Well, we're glad you're here.
What's that?
We're glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. No, I appreciate it. I'm not kidding. I've been that busy with work. I've been doing about 100-hour work weeks for 4 months. Half of is physical labor. It's been hotter than fucking some metaphor that's not coming to me now. It's been very hot, and there's no rain, so it's just been miserable out here. So, but the good news is the house is pretty much done. There's some minor stuff left, but a great source of the frustration has been TJ's generation not working, and so that puts a kink in the supply chain. The Wuhan has also put a kink in the supply chain. You just can't get stuff, and so you have to build it yourself or jerry rig it or something like that. And it's actually very angering and agitating, and I'm pretty convinced I will be moving out of the country. So, I mean, I'll be here. Yeah, I'll be here for a while, but the ineptitude of good old conservative America, South Dakota, I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots. You guys are completely irresponsible pieces of shit. And I don't care that you have an R in front of your name. You guys can't do anything right. And so, I'm not kidding. I got a spreadsheet. I've analyzed all these different countries, obviously on economic metrics, because that's probably the most important and I can interpret them. But I've added places where you're not required to get a mandatory root beer float. And then also I've started looking at obesity rates, because I'm very serious when I say I'm sick of looking at ugly fat people who mar their bodies with tattoos and ugly hair, color hair. It's not this. I wasn't expecting it to look like, a James Bond set with beautiful women, but I was expecting somewhat of a more traditional classical culture, and it's just shit here. It's just trailer trash shit.
Are you looking at Europe or South America?
I'm going to go out Southeast Asia. I am going to visit Japan. Just to say hi to Modern Life John, but I don't think I want to be there. I might swing by Korea on the way down to the south.
You're going to check out the lady boys?
No, no. Women are not. No, I've had my fair share, and I don't need any more. But then I'm gonna scoot off to Central Europe and check out a couple places there, and then I may not move or become a resident, but I am definitely going to probably buy some property over there. So if I have a place, or if the shit goes down here, I have a place to live,
nice,
and not be a parasite.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I wish I had more. I mean, there is good news. Like, the house is really great. It's really nice. It's really very cozy. I am hoping you guys come visit. I have been able to get some hiking, and motorcycle riding. That's all great. But the sheer volume of work, both with the house and then Asshole Consulting, has blown up. And about a third of my requests, the Spurg factor has definitely increased. So
really?
Just yesterday, if you want to see a great ranting video, I went off and I said, I'm no longer dealing with Spurgs, incels, solipsis. I just went off. And anytime I get this.
Do you have a chart of criteria when someone reaches out to you that like, well, this person's a Spurg, I'm not going to take their money and fuck that?
No, it's not that. It's you can use, there's several tells. One, they do voice to text, so there's a ton of typos. Two, there's no paragraphs, also because they do voice to text, or they just don't do it. 3, they never get to the point. And then the biggest tell is when they want me to make a decision for them, because they're too fucking lazy to go and research it themselves. And so though, if that comes in where you're just lazy and you're too lazy to go and research your own stuff, the minimum is 100. minimum. Yep. And then, or if there's a very obvious solution, like I'm kind of fat. How do I get girls? Well, lose the weight. Well, are you sure? Yeah, that's $100, please. No,
Well,
fuck off.
that seems to be a problem all over, because it seems like Rolo and Ryan and Rich and everybody has been talking about that lately. And the thing is, what you do not have to be better looking than Brad Pitt to get a girl. All you have to be is better than 50 to 80% of the guys in Walmart shopping with you. and the thing is, that's not hard to do. Yes,
No.
it is. It's hard to get the six pack.
Rob,
If you're not born over 6'2", the size you are is the size you are, both height wise and in your pants. But as far as whether you're 5'9" and 300 pounds or 6'2" and 120 pounds, that's all in your control. If you actually get a halfway flattering haircut, that and wash your hair, that's in your control. If you take a bath more or shower more than once a week, that's in your control. So it's kind of like the whole thing about confronting a lion or confronting a bear. You don't have to run faster than the lion or the bear. You just have to run faster than the guys you're with. And
Right.
and that's the same way with the hunt for women, whether it's just for a one night stand or something longer lasting. I mean, it's not that part of it's just not that difficult if you do the work.
But here, let me kind of fill you in on where this industry, for lack of a better word, is going, or where the current thought, or it's not even philosophy, what the reality is, and what you're finding out. People, what they really want is the easy solution, and they will not accept anything else, and they will keep asking you the same damn question. Or what about this variable? Or what if I get cufflinks? What if I looks max? What if I groom my beard? What we're finding out is the same thing that Oprah found out with women. Women don't want to lose weight unless it's easy. And they will pay for every variation and permutation that has the slight glimmer of hope or promise that you can lose weight and be beautiful without work and effort. And it's this constant, well, what about, and it's a lot, no offense to the engineers, a lot of math guys, a lot of engineers who thinks everything's a fucking formula. And it's like, guys, I don't know how many times we got to say this. And like Rich Cooper, for example, I don't think he consults people for under $1,000 now. Because he wants to cut these people out. And he has kicked some to me. I'm like, thanks, Rich, you dick. And they're like, hey, I live at home and I can't find girls. And Rich said, you might be able to help me. I'm like, fuck you, Rich. But what it's not, the problem is not the problem they're stating, like, how do I get girls or how do I succeed? The problem is a mental problem where they want to live in this cognitive dissonance twilight zone era or area where they can have their cake and eat it too, where, you do this promise, and that drug keeps them going until it fails. And then maybe on a quasi intellectually honest level, they say, well, I got to change my strategy. But then they go and seek, they'll never do the hard work. And because their fear of the work is stronger than their desire to get with a girl. And so that's where they live in this quasi state forever. And boy, you can sell them whatever snake oil salesman you want, they'll probably pay for it. And if you come up with a new one, but yeah, that's where it is. And I just don't have the patience anymore for these people who ask essentially the same damn question time and time again.
I remember a few weeks ago, actually it's probably less than a week ago at this point. It was midnight and there was a cookie on the oven that had been baked some 2 hours prior. I had it in my mouth. And I'm in the middle of chewing it, and I said, I have multiple people waiting for me in Dallas.
Yeah.
Do I really need this cookie right now? I went over to the trash can right and spit it out.
Spit the cookie out?
And immediately after was the realization, I should have been doing this for ages.
Yeah.
Right? I should have been doing this at least a month ago.
Yeah.
Taking this differential approach. And it's I know it's weird. It doesn't hit you almost until you have something to look forward to,
Mhm.
or something that you see that you could have had, maybe had,
Yep.
and missed out on.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The bubble that your life is expanding.
Mhm.
You're incorporating other things into it and realizing that, yeah, you do want other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not only seeing fat women from New Jersey.
Exactly.
Wavy 125-pound tomboy in Texas.
And James points out something really important is you need something in life to look forward to, because then you'll put forth the effort in other aspects, not merely financial or career or girls or anything like that. But what all the lazy guys do is they immediately go like, well, if I get a girl, that'll make my life great. Now, how do I do that easily? It's like, no, man, you just don't go to the girl store and get a girl. All right. You got to work out. You got to you have to put in the work. And you don't have that incentive unless you have some other, I would say, non-female point and purpose in life.
Mhm.
Usually for men, it's a career, but it could be a hobby. In TJ's case, diddling little boys, whatever it is. I'm not going to judge what your hobbies are, but you need to wake up in the morning
Boy Scouts.
Exactly.
and say, "Oh, damn it, I want to go down after my job as a shredding delivery guy. I want to go down to the nursing home and get myself some 80-year-old tail." And then that's what you do.
Well, you're guaranteed there. They have the highest rate of STD infections.
They do.
They do.
The only time Rob is going to make a course is when he does make it to the nursing home.
Yeah.
It'll be about nursing home. Games.
Nursing home game, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Rob ain't going to the. There's no way Rob would go to. Right, Rob? I don't see you going to the nursing home ever.
Now, Rob and I have it's like a Thelma and Louise thing, only cooler. We have a plan.
I have a death penalty or death clause in my living will. That I have 3 people. I'm like, if you can't kill me, this one does. If this guy, and I don't mean like they murder me, but like power of attorney, they can pull the plug. And so I have it backed up that if I'm a vegetable, the plug is pulled. And,
So how do we differentiate that from now?
says the government worker. All right. Okay.
Brutal.
I show up and then I get the money. What do I do?
Screenshot. Somebody screenshot that.
Well,
Is
who
that
better to
people
kill you
are-
than someone that works for the government?
Right.
That's right. Go ahead, James.
We have a super chat from the goddamn bacon for 243. What kind of red wine pairs decently with Wendy's? None. Stop eating fucking Wendy's.
Thank you very much. Yes.
I mean, she's a redhead. She's got that going for her.
Well, you don't want to.
Well, depends. We didn't specify. Did you mean Wendy's, the fast food chain, or are you trying to remind me of women of a specific shade of hair and pigtails?
Yes. Their handles.
Of course, you got to
Yes.
pull the pigtails.
Yank.
Yeah. Hey, you know the Robbie, hold up.
Oh yeah,
All right, good. What are you drinking tonight?
Bud Light.
Same
Okay.
thing he drinks every night, Pinky.
Bud Light.
Beer that'll take over the world.
That's right. Everyone in the chat, thank you for joining us. By the way,
Anyway, guys, so thanks for having me on. I'm gonna get going because
What?
I gotta eat dinner.
you have to eat dinner. It's like
9
Oh,
o'clock
your
here.
boyfriend showed up?
it's like 11 o'clock where you are, isn't it?
No, you're going the other direction. It's 9 o'clock here.
Oh, 9. Okay,
It's 11 o'clock there.
Work then.
that's right. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm tacking extra time.
Tell your boyfriend we said hi and we hope he doesn't get infected.
I will. Hey guys, remember one time TJ almost got a phone number and he thought he was Don Juan after that? Those are good times, weren't they? Those are good times. So. All right, I'll see you guys later, right?
Good seeing you, Aaron. Take it easy.
Good seeing you again, Aaron.
That dirty whore. Oh, Jesus Christ. Mm. So you finished off that wine, didn't you, James?
Oh,
yeah. James is officially an alcohol, but it's good wine.
It's a really good wine.
I'll get you a few bottles to send you on your way.
I appreciate that. We'll put it in the pod. I also finished off some decent rum and coffee. So I figured if I can make it for you, I can make it for myself.
Okay, there you go.
Sounds like that cup of wine or that glass of wine was much better than the cookie. Worth getting rid of the cookies for the wine, right?
Yeah, it's a little lighter. It's semi-sweet. It's made from the Concord grape.
Okay.
The funny thing is, I woke up this morning. I told the guys about this. I looked in the mirror. My dimples by my collarbone reappeared. I was looking in the mirror. Because I did all that swimming yesterday. I imagine.
Yeah.
And I've been nursing that ache for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been interesting. I'm gonna go home and weigh myself. I think I've lost about 2-3 pounds would probably be about 5-6 by the
Easily,
time I'm done.
easily,
Yeah.
Well, that's really great. I mean, above and beyond just the results, just the refocusing on yourself and your health, mentally, emotionally, physically. Like I said, I'm not privy to all the details. The community's not privy to all the details, but just in what all of us here and in the chat would know from various shows, you've been going through a lot. So it's just really cool that you're focused on yourself, and the fact that you're seeing results, positive results for the work is great.
Absolutely. It's been so fascinating to me to see, because we had the last Village by the Sea where I first met Vince, right? Vince messages me on, I don't even message him, I just mentioned on Twitter,
Yeah.
you're in New Jersey?
Yeah, right.
You say, come on out to Atlantic City. And I did that night.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't have anything going on.
You came, yeah. You. That was like, I'm doing this.
Yeah, if I did, I canceled it.
Yeah.
And I just said, all right, 50-minute drive, I can make that. And went out. And so I met DJ, Rob,
Aaron
Clary, Vince,
Yep.
Joe Curl as well.
Crow came out. Yeah. And now look where we are.
Yeah. Well, I talked to all those guys. That was where the first inklings of me potentially being a narrator.
I heard your voice and I asked you. I remember asking you specifically, and we all looked at you and I'm like, your voice. You have a golden voice, man. Are you doing anything with it? And you looked at me like, what? What am I going to do?
I looked at you like you were insane.
Yeah, exactly. Like at the end of the night, I said, if you don't do something with your voice, I'm going to kick your ass.
Right.
Yes.
Right. No, I remember that. Aaron made some very similar comments across the night. He just mentioned it was pleasurable. So now I'm getting ready to do, finally, now that I'm actually moving to Dallas and I can do recordings without very reliable interference from a certain collection of people. I'll be able to actually do recordings. Similarly, the other night, we're all talking about something completely different. TJ and I are talking about our families. And Vince and Rob are asking us questions about those families, trying to suss out additional details, additional interactions that we might be having, and figure out, basically, doing an expose on family dynamics and how we might approach our fairly objectivist or red pill or whatever you might call it worldview, or praxeology is probably better.
Yeah.
World's going to yell at me. Praxeology, not ideology, to these dynamics. And it immediately switches to, or not immediately, after a while it switches to a skill set I have as a game designer, right? My skill set as a game designer is taking player feedback, which is often worded poorly, because they don't know the lingo, they don't know the lingo of game design writ large. What they know is the word overpowered and underpowered. That's all they got. And then they don't know the internal lingo of the specific company that they're talking to. So they are 2 degrees of separation away in terms of language between the community language and the game designer's language, the design company's language. And my job is basically taking that feedback into something which is actionable and turning it into actionable, practical advice, something that can be put under a microscope and approve or disapprove, and also making sure that the game design company can't ignore it. So it was brought up after all this conversation, all that explanation, discussion. Me mentioning it's my only skill set. Rob and Vince mentioned, or I think it was you specifically.
I was, because of where I work.
Because of where you work. Explain that's somewhat. Rob asked a question of, can this be transferred anywhere else? And I said, probably not. You brought up mediators. Mediation and arbitration.
Mediation and arbitration,
And so now I'm looking at, once I get to Dallas, I immediately looked up the certifications for it.
Because you don't have to go to law school.
You don't have to go to law school, which is the biggest barrier I had to being a lawyer. I was thinking about that for a time. That would have been a fun opportunity to do. Thinking, again, translating rule sets to people who are more or less playing with them, in this case, breaking them in some capacity.
Right.
With a mediator, I don't have to be a lawyer. I don't have to go to law school. I need 40 hours of a specific variety of training, additional 24 hours of another variety of training, and then I'm certified to be a mediator.
Yeah, it's like the difference between being a bookkeeper and an accountant, a CP, and having your CPA. It's
Right. And so all that is to say, or that lengthy explanation, that lengthy anecdote is to say, that all stemmed from one night messaging Vince saying, I'm surprised that you guys are in New Jersey, him inviting me out, and now I have a gig as a narrator. I have several gigs as a narrator, which I'm going to be, completing once I'm in Dallas. And continuing on, I've been having a great time on TikTok, for instance. And then as a day job, I have an opportunity to try out being a mediator. And even if that doesn't work out, the fact I have a path forward means that if that doesn't work out, I will likely bounce off it into something else.
Right.
I will be able to investigate up different opportunities. And that's the value of these meetup spaces.
Exactly. And going back to what we were talking about an hour ago, the importance of doing this and us demonstrating this. See, you saw what we were doing. That's cool. That resonates with me. I want to be a part of that.
Right.
And that for the action, just that little bit of action has a momentum far beyond what you imagined.
I think a lot of guys are looking for that. And I know we both have it from both angles on this one singular trip.
Exactly.
We have the male-female interactions with TJ and displaying, showing off basically, which is delightful.
Exactly.
The interactions with that waitress there.
Well, that's the thing too. I know Aaron's like, "Oh, did you get the number?" That's fine, but the fact that he is doing the thing,
right?
He's having the interactions. He's having that playful interaction with a feminine woman. It doesn't matter what the outcome is, right? If you did get a number, if you did get a number.
Look, guys,
here's let me finish. God damn it. Jesus.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. What was that?
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck. That's been the trope of the trip.
The motto.
The motto. Shut. And it's. I'll get to my story, but it's the inflection on shut.
On shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck. Yeah, exactly. Most people say, shut the fuck up. No, that's too many people say that.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, what the fuck was I saying?
Witness my creativity.
Bear witness to James' creativity.
You were talking about
my lexical genius.
Exactly. The lexiconism. So the outcome doesn't matter. I think it's the journey there and the fact that it's building confidence within TJ.
Right. The impact on TJ has been witnessed regardless of the outcome.
Exactly.
Well, guys,
exactly.
I'll also say you can talk all you want about a number, but if you got a girl who's sitting in your lap, eating out of your hand, that's better than any phone number. There's a lot of guys get phone numbers and they never hear from the girl ever again.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Go ahead, read that out.
Where is it?
You might as well. I don't pat myself in the back that much.
Where is it? I've been lucky enough to see Vince in action live. He can pick up gilfs like no other. What's a gilf? Vince?
Grandmas I'd like to fuck.
Granddads I'd like to fuck. All right.
Grandmoms.
Gilf is grandmas I'd like to
I'm
fuck.
pretty sure it was granddad's.
That too.
That would be a GD.
That would be a GD?
A GD.
Oh, I
You
see.
throw a GD in
I
there.
see.
Yeah, and if you're talking
Wink,
about
wink.
I know. If you're talking about Aaron, then that would be highly appropriate.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially
No,
that.
it would be
Exactly.
it would be boys.
Yes.
Yes.
That's disgusting to you.
Well, I mean, he likes Michelle Obama, so just saying. No, so I was just gonna say he's obsessed. He's obsessing over phone numbers. He's like,
I know you're messing with me, Nicholas.
well, yeah, it is like.
It's all good.
And the thing is, he's like,
Spell
oh,
it.
your number. It's
Spell
like,
that.
I did smell it.
That's right. And everyone can see you smell
No, I didn't know
Guys.
if I sent it out this way.
it. It does. It stains almost all the way to the windows. Yes. So, what is in there, James?
Jesus Christ.
What cigars do we have? Let's show off our
There are cigars. I have ones which are
It's not weed. We swear.
large and round. I have ones which are shorter, thinner, but also round.
Yes.
I have
Baby
ones which
Aaron's
are
Larry.
a medium comparison, but also round.
There you go.
And I have ones
They're
with
all kinda
funny
round.
labels on them in different colors,
There you go. Also round.
which are also round.
Round. The key point is round and shut the fuck up.
And shut the fuck up. They are also all flammable.
They
As
are.
it turns out.
Go figure.
We've introduced James to the awesomeness that is cigar smoking.
Yeah, new addiction.
Exactly.
Yes.
Indeed. All right, we are at the 2-hour mark. We will open this up to maybe 10 minutes of questions.
TJ, how do I get the redheads?
No, you can't answer your own questions for you to answer. I know. We're making fun of you.
You have an Italian friend who has a redheaded sister.
Exactly.
And everything else just kind of
falls into after that.
falls into place. I mean, that was my first newsletter article, was at my Italian buddy's place. We're setting up a fence for him and his mom. And, break time comes around. I didn't even know that she was still there. So I think she does live in Philly, but for whatever reason, she was there that night.
Oh, okay.
Break time comes around. I close my eyes after this nice, hard, long day of work.
Hard, long,
I open
hard.
my eyes, and something else got hard and long as I saw a redhead handing me Guinness.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, how's that a bad thing?
It's not.
It's not a bad
I'm
thing.
saying it's a good thing.
Nothing
about that at all is bad.
Yeah.
Nothing.
All of it was fantastic.
All right, so any questions you can ask us? You've got 9 minutes. In the meantime, Rob, do you have anything you wish to impart?
No.
He's like, fuck you guys. Yeah.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
See,
You're trying to figure out some additional commentary on the topic. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Rob's wisdom was dispensed, metered out these past 5 days very well, and you had to be here. See, that's the thing. You had to be here, but you weren't invited. So fuck it. You had to be here to get Rob's wisdom, but the problem is you were not invited. So once again, fuck you. So you have to create your own meetups and dispense your own wisdom. Find your mentors. Find your own masculine geeks. Because everyone listening here is a masculine geek in their own right. Or a budding masculine geek, a masculine geek devotee. Because you're here. So we bring it back to what we were talking about an hour ago, is to create these spaces for yourselves.
And it's actually not fucking hard.
It's not.
Okay, with technology being what it is, the ability, like James was saying earlier when he mentioned the whole mediation thing, he immediately jumps onto the internet, everybody's favorite tool and place to be, and starts looking up the criteria and the certifications and the rules and all that shit to figure out, hey, what is it going to take me to be able to get into that? Because he wanted to see, do I need a law degree? No, you don't need a law degree. You need 40 hours, 24 hours, whatever. But hey, that's a green light right there. Okay? The information is there, but I'm not going to fucking spoon feed it to you. All right? So it's so easy today. Oh, I see these guys doing a podcast. I want to do that. Okay, so go out, get a microphone, grab a camera, and get a YouTube channel and fucking start talking. And then from there, hey, do you want to meet up? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. All right, well, fucking figure it out.
Don't make a podcast. Your podcast idea sucks. Just skip to the meetup.
Exactly.
Well, there's that too. But it's not hard.
Speaking of podcast, with you being there, is Bull Rush flying solo with Nick tomorrow, or are you doing anything?
Probably.
What's up with your guys' show for tomorrow night?
I have no idea. I'm not intending or planning on being there because I'm going to probably be drunk.
Exactly. We will probably. There's going to be a lot of day drinking tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is business as usual, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this time we got a funnel for the Bud Lights, though. So
that is true. Yeah.
It may be of some kind of unique quality insofar as day drinking is concerned.
Exactly. Yep.
I have a brief comment though on getting your own space together. I had this. We had a conversation about this the other day. I'm not going to mention any names, but I mentioned the penalty because I'm not just part of the manosphere. I'm part of multiple spaces. I probably have the largest progressive friend group out of anybody who is listening, watching, whatever have you, out of this room, etc. So I have multiple spaces that I like to be a part of and I like to learn from. And some of those differ in politics, some of those differ in intersexual dynamics, some of them differ in game tastes, etc., etc. And so what I do is I keep myself from crossing the streams.
Compartmentalized.
Exactly. Because when you do cross the streams,
That would be bad.
it would be
That would
bad.
be bad.
Well, here's the thing. It's not, instead of in a separate movie, you destroy the universe that this applies to. You don't destroy the entire space. You destroy your access to the space. You destroy your doorway to both of these places. I had somebody who was in this space, joined my Discord server, immediately began throwing around words like, and they were welcome with open arms. It was a particularly chatty night in my Discord server. Everybody was appreciative and stuff like that. And they immediately start throwing around words like woke, SJW, blah, 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 all the punchlines that people think are funny when they're making jokes and string them together because they think that makes up for a lack of humor. And they're sort of laughed out of it instantly, but not before. Also, 3 people left my server, right? At least. And many more learned that it was probably a negative interaction to engage with me. And it's sad. It's unfortunate, but know your audience when you're engaging in these different spaces. Not everybody cares what you think about the shipping crisis. Not everybody thinks about what you cares what you think about when it comes to tabletop RPGs. Not everybody cares what you think about when it comes to women. Know your audience, keep yourself compartmentalized, and take of the fruit that is being offered to you without trying to poison the rest of the tree. You know, when you're going to, because you're not always going to have the opportunity. I agree with Vince, TJ, and Rob on many subjects, right? And I am lucky to be able to do that. Not all of you are going to be so lucky. You have to pick from the tree of life, as it were, and decide which branches are going to offer you the most value, the most bang for your buck. And if you don't do that, you're going to cut yourself off from it completely. Please exercise discretion.
And caution. And wear a
Caution
condom. And wear a condom.
And wear a condom.
Wear a condom.
Yeah.
And you
Wear
wear
a condom when rendering somebody's space.
Exactly. Especially the moist ones.
Yep.
You want to read Bacon's? Thank you for that super chat. And also, Mictibus has a question.
Let's see, we have, can Rob make me a tutorial on how to do YouTubes? Rob, don't you dare.
There's tutorials already out there.
Exactly. Now, you can read Mictibus's question.
Speaking of crossing the streams, I trust you guys all have your beds there. Well, just because we all have our beds here doesn't mean that we're all sleeping in our own beds. So
Exactly. There is one king bed that we're all sharing.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'll agree with James on the whole keeping things compartmentalized. I don't know why I'm echoing. Sorry about that, Vince. Is that on my end or?
I don't hear it on my end.
Okay. But yeah, I'm very much the same way, and that basically extends to my personal and family life as well. I'd one of the last times I saw my mom, she was telling me that a brother-in-law had showed her this picture of some guy in Germany who looked just like me. He could have been my twin, and but he had a different name. And I'm like, really? And she showed me the picture, and I'm like, oh yeah, he does look exactly like me. And it was from a modeling gig I had done while I was over there for an artist. And but it was credited under a different name, and my own mother had no clue. But so the cat's kind of out of the bag now. But I seriously doubt that she's watching the show. But yeah, it pays to keep things compartmentalized. Some you need to have your own private space.
We as men are very good at that, and I think it's something that we should actively pursue. If it's not something you're used to, then compartmentalizing a lot of things clears up a lot of issues.
Yeah, I mean, it should be one of the plates you juggle, those aspects of your life. I mean, you don't piss where you eat. You don't crap where you eat. So, you keep your work separate from your private stuff. You keep your private stuff separate from your hobby stuff and your friends stuff.
Keep your private separate.
Yes.
Think about it. Are you going to deny yourself the absolute joy of having a positive work environment where everybody loves you and everybody says hi in the morning and people grab you coffee because you disagree with them on their sexual dynamics?
No, you're not going to do that.
Exactly. Well, you shouldn't do that.
You compartmentalize.
You compartmentalize. And why wouldn't you? You're denying yourself the experience. You're denying yourself the joy. And if nothing else, this space at the very least teaches you that maybe you shouldn't always say what's on your mind, right? You should be authentic.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. You should be authentic, obviously, right? But don't be yourself. Be the best version of yourself.
Agreed.
You be the person who's pointlessly causing conflict in the office because, somebody said something about dating that you didn't like. Well, it's spurty. It's unbecoming of a man.
Well, and you leave the drama starting to the women. I mean,
Exactly.
That is their purview. That is their gift, and you let them do it. We have our own games to play, and we have our own dynamics. So
Exactly. Don't
they
step
need to
on
play
my
our
toes.
games the best. Yeah,
Agreed. Our D&D game is the best.
definitely. And if you're not watching it, you're really missing out. Both
That
of
is
them.
true. That is true. So
You may well be a pudwhack.
it's possible to be a pudwhack, yeah. But that is, you can clear that up. It's like acne.
Yes.
You can work on that. So the D&D games our first campaign is DM Dungeon Mastered by Raul Tomasi. We have another one that we do once a month, but we do both once a month. So twice a month there's a Masculine Geek D&D live stream D&D game. The other one is run by Drew Bay. Rollo's is a hybrid mix of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons First Edition in 5e, and Drew's is strictly. I asked him to run strictly a First Edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons campaign. So those are those two. Also, make sure you go and sign up for the Masculine Geek newsletter, which drops every Monday morning, and is full of, what is it full of, James and TJ? How would you describe the Masculine Geek newsletter?
Stuff you
Full
won't
of
get.
buckus.
It's what? It is for your part, yes.
Yes.
There's it's half bupkis with James.
It's my entry every week.
Yeah, but I will say when you do non-bupkis stuff, it's worthwhile.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is, yeah. So TJ, how would you describe the newsletter?
Provides men with information, wisdom, perspective they won't get anywhere else.
Exactly.
Mictobus asked me a question. So I shouldn't say things like, man, James has great hair. Sure will be a shame when he loses it. It'll be the best day of my life when I finally lose my hair. I was so excited when I thought I was going bald. Everything came back.
Yeah.
And I was crushed.
Right. You want to read this latest super chat?
Sure, we have a super chat.
Jean
That's
Simone LaRose. Thank you.
So from Jean-Simon LaRose, one sip when you talk stupid, 2 sip when Rib says shut the fuck up, 3 sip when Vince quote DG, chug at every super chat. I think, Jean, I believe you've been doing a bit of drinking yourself.
Correct. Yes, and you have to. If we take a sip, so do you.
Which explains the $500 super chat. You probably mistyped that while you were.
It's $5.
Drunk.
Yeah.
Don't tell him that.
I know, right?
$500 because he's obviously drunk, so we can scare him.
Exactly.
Hey, I want to say real quick, although James usually has bupkis in the newsletter, the last thing you did write about, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, that was really good. It was
the week before Labor Day.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was more personal and kind of insightful, and I appreciated your honesty, and no, it was really good.
Was that the one about the freelancers?
Yes, well, there was a lot in that. In fact, I think that week you were the only one that wrote anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right, in fact, I'm tempted to read that now.
Yeah.
Do I have that here?
Probably not. Unless you were emailed it, if you're part of the newsletter, you should get a copy.
No,
So you write it for the newsletter and you don't get a copy of it.
Well, no, I actually do get a copy of it on a different email account.
Oh, okay.
But most importantly, I have it on my Google Docs. I have something where I write down all my Masculine Geek shit.
So anyway, I just wanted to say it was really good, and I appreciated it. So throw that out there.
Thank you.
Thank you for making that observation.
Oh, I found it. It was the 8-1 submission, I believe it was.
Mhm.
Okay.
No. It was the 8-15 submission. I found it. Let's hear. Am I going to read this off, or is
No.
that going to?
No, I absolutely no. You can. Okay.
Fantastic. So this is from the 15th of
You should
August.
sit next to Rob.
For the
Sit
sake
next
of
to
the
Rob so everyone can see you closely.
Is this going to be like James' bedtime story for Rob?
This is the bedtime story that I promised everyone.
We're going to pass the fuck out. TJ's leaving for whatever reason on the line.
Well, TJ hasn't pissed yet,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think. And now's definitely the time.
No, he's getting his drink, which is randomly on the floor by the stairs.
I'm just waiting for you guys.
Which is where nothing could possibly go wrong.
Right?
It didn't go wrong.
Yes.
I like my relationship with women.
I'm going to shed a tear for that one. And laugh.
Never goes wrong.
Ah.
Never. All right, so this is from the 15th of August. It's from James, of course, which is myself, as some of you may know. I've got another freelancer to crap on. This is one of the first freelancers we took on, and to help explain why this particular person was so terrible to work with regards to both their personality and their actual writing.
Slow down. Yeah.
Slow
Slow
down.
down. You're too fast. Yeah.
I have 1% battery. You maybe don't want that.
Oh,
Wait.
Jesus Christ.
I have to explain some things. I have to explain how I came into contact with the other ones. It's very simple. I put out a tweet asking where I might find freelancers for the tabletop industry, and I was subsequently greeted with hundreds of engagements from people in the industry. And the tweet went far and wide. I was inundated with people recommending themselves or others, other freelancers, other friends. And being my generous and welcoming self, I was more than happy to take on people who wanted to get a foot in the industry. I'd had bad experiences with other publishers and projects, and really anyone so long as they showed what I deemed to be a bare minimum of interest and capacity to follow directions. And boy, was that bar low. Now I'm tempted to inject some levity into this newsletter, but this will be the last one complaining about freelancers. Any that mention them going forward will be about my personal favorites. People I love and intend to work with going forward, so I feel completely justified in packing this with as much vitriol as it deserves. I set the scene for you. My co-writer and I have had approximately 100 applications for work sent in, all of which are being sorted through some sort of a mix of panic and excitement. We don't have time for shenanigans, so we begin setting up make-work projects that keep writers busy and help give us some spare time. Now, we informed all the writers about this up front. It was with interest in the small tasks we began setting up, received assignments, and those who didn't simply fell by the wayside. Completely fine with us, but one freelancer decides we don't know how to manage things and gives us a suggestion, listing out the types of writers we need. He goes on to explain how we could set up requests for background writers, location writers, world writers, etc. And of course, this is more or less just the make work assignments that we were already supplying. The added benefit of our method being that someone with particular qualifications for a given task wouldn't have to wait for us to then generate the specific task. They could just take it, right? They could just offer to do the thing. I informed this freelancer once again that we were in the process of sorting through submissions, these 100 submissions we received, and was in a sufficiently polite mood that I did not tell him to fuck off. He probably just missed the original memo, whatever. Doesn't bode well for his hiring, gives us an ability to keep track of the various updates we were posting, but whatever, you know. He took the opportunity to brag about his own qualifications, surprise, surprise, so I tossed him a relevant task I figured would be sufficient to keep him busy. To their credit, they jumped at the opportunity, and I pat myself on the back for having solved that problem. I start leading them through the design process in stages. They're developing a character of a specific origin through that, and I sent him on developing the character's theme. Now they get back to me a few days later, asking me to review their work. I tell them I can bookmark a slot for the next day or the day after that. They follow up by requesting details on the review process, by which they meant payment. They're hoping for half up front and half on completion. But there's a slight problem with this, in that one, payment is based on word count. So giving you half up front is somewhat difficult. I don't know how many words you're going to write for me. And second, I don't know if I'm going to even use the submission. This is like writers sending their stuff to a publisher and included with a long disclaimer, roughly as long as the book, about how it's copyrighted, and if they steal the idea, they're going to be sued and stuff like that. Just not. It's indicative that you've had bad business experiences, and clearly you don't care about creating more of them. And so I informed them of these issues, with the caveat that if they were in need of funds now, we could certainly figure something out. My generosity is legendary. They respond by saying it was more to keep things professional, as folks had taken too long a time to pay up in the past. Again, I extend my long and girthy olive branch, letting him know that he can send a sample of the work if he wants me to pay, but not see, so I can review it at the very least and see whether it's appropriate for a supplement. He agrees to this and sends me some of the worst fan fiction for tier writing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I have had a Tumblr account since 2011. I even tortured myself by going back and rereading it days afterwards, wondering if my overall indignation had in some way colored my judgment and caused me to be unfair. It did not. I was angry. This person demanded I pay up front for a word count-based assignment. They were not interested in letting me see until I had actually provided them with payment, and the part they chose to let me see after negotiation was something obviously ineligible for our product at best. This reevaluation only served to make me angrier, and I instructed the freelancer to scrap the entirety of the story they had written. The new task was simply to focus on mechanics, as you're wont to do in tabletop RPGs. As a side note, I don't have much spare time for writing as is, especially as I read this, in fact, because now my copy has at 1% battery. But I would have liked to do an in-depth analysis of why this, what I will obviously, I'm actually going to skip the fan fiction thing, why I consider it fan fiction. But yeah, so as mentioned, I gave them the task of instead setting up the mechanics for a specific character, so someone intimately familiar with the process of intertwining mechanics and narrative descriptions, and obviously we're talking about myself, could take a crack at the flavor text afterwards. No mention of payment up front was made after this change to their assignment, so they got the message. Mm-hmm. This eventually got back to, they sent me a stat block collection of mechanics pertaining to the creature in tabletop RPGs. I go over that. I know some odd terminology. I make a few recommendations and encourage them to include any features they may have struck out for fear they would be too over the top, and I go about my day. I'm managing other freelancers, after all. And it's when one of these other freelancers presents me with a near identical set of mechanics that I ask both of them independently if they use some kind of template or reference, not mentioning that others had used this. Very politely asking them whether they plagiarized or not. And this person has the audacity to ask me why they can't use these mechanics other people have already written, at which point my patience goes thin, and now I have exact words. I said, well, there's actually two reasons. First is that it's not just the terminology. We're providing a new product, and so we're hoping to provide new mechanics and monsters. If we were just copying off existing mechanics from other sources, I wouldn't need to pay anyone to produce these new mechanics, and neither would the folks who had funded this on Kickstarter. Second is I like minimizing any potential legal actions. While you technically can't copyright game mechanics, the way that actually plays out in court can get complex. Nobody likes plagiarists, accused or otherwise. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. And yeah, so they agree as well, but after some snide gamma comments that I ignored, they sent this fucking gammas, man.
Indeed.
They sent me a revision a little while later. Don't particularly have the time to go over it right that second. And there's a group chat that I've set up for this specific collection of freelancers. So I tell them to pop the document in there. And they disagree. They want to know if the stat blocks is good before they put in the group chat that I've set up explicitly to refine these things without me having to micromanage every fucking word they write. They want me to do that before I put them in the thing that does not involve me micromanaging everything, because of course I have infinite amounts of time.
Exactly.
And money.
How dare you not do?
Exactly. How dare I not write it for them? I tell them to pop it in, and my patience is out. They disagree. My patience is out. My time is short. I tell them I asked them to do something. I expect them to fulfill it, and this time they stall. The stat block. They ask if the stat block another person has entered in this group chat. Mm-hmm. It works for me. I tell them that one will be going through the same exact review process that will eventually be through when I have time. And I'm greeted with the following. Exact quote. Dude, I'm not picking an argument. I'm just trying to understand the logic of your process, because so far, it has been a mess. I do appreciate the opportunity, but I've never had a business partner so unorganized. I'll send the stop block to the group chat, but at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to tell us if it's what you want or not. And if you do need help with organization, it's okay to ask for help.
Jeez.
There's nothing wrong with asking.
That's condescending crap.
Yeah. And at this point, I'm incredulous, because this person knows we've been filtering out applicants according to interest, talent, at this point, and most importantly, ability to follow fucking directions. Not only are they being needlessly insulting, which is something I don't tolerate in business, they are actively failing the sorting process. In retrospect, I wish I didn't have to sort things this way, but I was pretty successful in filtering out almost everybody who's going to be a colossal waste of time. Do the exact opposite job the freelancers are intended to do. Write things I don't have time to write myself. Right? That's why we got all these people to begin with.
I'll say that's the motivation.
So to finish off our short business relationship, I asked them to just send me their PayPal. They decide, I assume for comedic purposes, I refuse to believe anybody is this stupid, to cap off everything with a little bit of irony. You know, I asked them, I'm like, can you just pop it in the group chat? Actually, here's what we're going to do. The stat block is enough for us to take it from here. What's your PayPal? And they say, I wouldn't want the project to end on a bad note, but before I do leave, tell me what the problem is, and we'll assess it. I said, I appreciate it, but I have work to do. Send me your PayPal. You didn't follow fucking directions, dumbass. You didn't follow fucking directions. So that was the end of my short business relationship, and that was the newsletter I posted about 2 weeks ago.
It was very good.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, yes.
I ran out of battery at the perfect time.
Plug that shit in.
Any chats or super chats, questions that we need to answer?
I don't think so. You
No.
can scroll through if you wish. Or you can come over here.
Yeah, I'll check it out here.
You just use it. Gotta lean in. Use the mouse, that's what it's for. Use the mouse.
Oh, this mouse.
Yes, that mouse. It's like right next to the laptop.
Yeah. Somewhat inebriated.
It's alright.
Anyone else notice James' voice getting higher and higher the more he drinks? I'm getting louder the more I drink, and
Shut
the fuck up, most importantly. But the louder I speak, the more higher vocal tones you're going to hear throughout the microphone.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, higher tones don't go as far. And normally, when I'm speaking in a room like this, and if you are present, the microphone's not going to pick this up, but my voice will bounce off the walls and hang for an additional second or two. And the higher pitch is going to be the intermediary between the low tones that you hear first, you know, accented by the highs, and then the lows bounce back off the walls
You'd
and
be a great conductor.
cap everything off. Exactly. I do have the tendency to talk with my hands.
You have a natural knack for it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So that's that.
Shut the fuck up.
Let's see. Mertibus says, let's see here. Goddamn Bacon says, James can vamp like a goddamn bass. Gotta get more shows or we get them all spun up. Probably. Let's
There'd
see.
be ample opportunity for that, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Mertibus says, I like James. I would drink with him. Nothing more though. No reach arounds. Well, I believe we can both.
You can probably arrange both of those if you wish.
Yeah, but I am happy to leave both. You know.
Yeah.
I'm happy to. I can
Just
agree to
keep
those
it
terms.
drinking, yes.
Yeah, your terms are acceptable.
Exactly. Not the reach arounds.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're buying breakfast.
Not even in that instance.
No.
No.
Not even for scrambled
No,
eggs.
I bought breakfast the other day.
You did, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, I was content not to get reach arounds, by the way.
Oh, Rob was very adamant about
About the reach arounds.
Exactly, yes.
Why don't give it the peer pressures?
You're really enjoying the cigars.
Yes. Well, they smell delightful.
They do.
They're going to take advantage of it. So those were the only questions I saw. Thank you, Robert, for the comment on the newsletter. It was a fun newsletter to write.
Yep, not a problem.
Indeed. We'll have some more photos that are just for newsletter subscribers only in this next newsletter. It's possible Rob may even drop in briefly and tell you guys to go fuck yourselves.
I'll tell you that right now. Go fuck yourselves.
But we wanted it right.
We're trying to get newsletter subscribers, Rob. Help us out.
Right.
Jesus. Where did TJ go?
I think
He went to go fuck himself.
Maybe go fuck himself?
Yeah.
He's flicking a light on, off and on. He's inebriated.
You alright, TJ? Yeah. You coming back out? Yeah. Alright, good. Jesus Christ.
Once he finds his way.
Okay. Well, you had a spill the other day. You went down like a sack of. Never mind. But you went down.
Sack of John
Potato.
Steele's.
Yeah.
After I slipped on the front steps.
I look
It was
over.
wet.
I look over and he just is whap. But
Instantaneously.
But you recovered. The thing is, you recovered well, and it was almost like you planned it.
I definitely didn't play it.
No, you didn't plan it. It was completely unplanned. But you acted as if.
I was like, well, I better stand up because otherwise my pants are going to get more wet.
Exactly. So if you had an audience, they would have known. So.
Right.
But you did, right? So
I appreciate that.
absolutely. It's all good.
I should get these glasses.
Is TJ out getting beer or collecting leaves? Leave him alone.
Last time we did a Village by the Sea, he was also drunk and had to sit on the couch,
He did.
which was fair because I watched how much he drank that night. I did not begrudge him at all.
We had a lot. Yeah,
Taking a break.
indeed. I think I need a refill. What should I have?
No, definitely not the wine because I drank the last of
This
that.
motherfucker. Yes.
There's a lot of wine though.
James is officially. Well, there is. There's mead. There's some. Well, that's a mulling wine. There's mead. We've got some absinthe. There's gin. I may have a gin and tonic. Oh, there is rum.
There is rum. Well, there's usually rum, provided that we.
That's kind of like a thing. Yeah.
Any coffee left for an Irish coffee?
What was that?
Any coffee left for an Irish coffee?
There might be coffee. Check to see if there's any coffee left.
There is coffee left.
Well, that.
It's not enough though.
Come on, you thought. Well, these.
It's a pittance. I don't want a pittance.
Well, you have more liquid to work with, given that you'll be adding rum to it.
Well, that's true. I'm gonna go with a straight rum.
Definitely do that. I'll
If
be right
we
back.
have, I don't think I have. No, I don't have enough Coke. I'm gonna do a gin and tonic. So this is the Masculine Geek Village by the Sea bar. What is this mess? I'll tell you right now, these guys. It's like these guys have lived in a barn all their life. I'll tell you, and I'll also say this: TJ is officially a pig pen. There's
And
a
here we
trail of
go.
mess left
And here we
behind that man.
And here we find the masculine geek in his natural environment. Note
What's
how
your-
he goes toward the alcohol. Nothing. I'm just talking to the audience.
What is the audience saying?
What is the audience saying?
Let me go check this. New comments. Jean says, y'all seem good, but Rob, you look way good with your light.
Somebody's been drinking over there in Canada.
Jean, you're very much shrinking.
Thank you.
Quite a bit, actually. Did he bust up his nipple, though? No, I fell on my ass up the nipple.
What about a nickel? Some nickels? Oh, yeah, Bradford's sitting on that.
So I have another super chat for. Click the show button. Jean-Simon LaRose says, just give me a post box. I'll ship you a couple bottle of wine. Jack saw my wine yard. He loved it.
Oh, that's right. You do have your family has a vineyard or something like that.
So he's off in the Netherlands then. Is that the case? John Dave, you tell us, are you in the Netherlands? Do you just happen to know Jack? You know that you're somewhat closer together. You could do a little bit more intercontinental, or intracontinental in this case, travel. The goddamn bacon says, we said nothing about your supply of rum, even in the absence of Cappy. Well, TJ took care of that one, and I took care of the wine. So.
I took care of the crack.
Exactly. Jean-Simon LaRose says, no, I'm in Canada. Okay, so you're in Canada. Then. Let's see here. Oh man, it's been insane. We got to do it. So this was a Masculine Geek sort of retreat, basically, and then I suppose a meetup is going to be where we invite the audience. We can make that distinction.
Yeah, we did not actually do. There's a distinction between a masculine geek, like the inner circle, as it were, us four.
Actual.
Yeah. But then there's meetups we have, which would be maybe on a Friday night or a Saturday. Right. We all meet up for drinks and dinner and shake hands, break bread, and have drinks together.
Right. So. That's one thing folks should understand is the difference between, like, so you might have, for instance, an inner circle retreat, as we did here. Provided people are behaving, provided people are social, absolutely. Provided people are social and acting appropriately and generally in accordance with whatever you feel like is going to be the best behavior you can imagine, or the most fun, or whatever, apply whatever metric you will. As a part of that, you can have members, or the people, initiates, if you will, or the acolytes, whatever word you might use for people who are fans of XYZ. Fans of XYZ, and I don't know, how do I express this? Past my inebriated stupor. People, you take people who are interested in what it is that you're doing, and you verify whether or not they're actually a good fit for your group, or if they happen to assent to it online. Let's see here. Mectobus, hello. Do you go by Jimmy or James or Jimmy or Jim? James is fine, but I'm operating under this name. I will occasionally put something else under StreamYard because fun. Do I have an OnlyFans, James? No, I do not. No OnlyFans. Robert, do you have an OnlyFans?
No, not currently.
Not currently. I
No.
said you could be persuaded.
If, like Aaron says, if the price is right.
Right. $20 is $20, as they say.
Yeah. No, I've got a couple episodes of things I did for YouTube. Well, most of the stuff I've got for YouTube is stuff I've done for other people. So it's things I was paid to narrate for various companies and so forth. As far as stuff on my own channel, I've actually got a couple things in the can. There was an announcement a few weeks ago about a new Babylon 5 series that I did a show on, based on some comments from various actors associated with the show, as well as stuff that J.M. Straczynski had said about what the plan is for the show. I haven't released it yet. I'm still debating about whether or not I'm going to. I don't know. There are just sometimes that it's like, does YouTube need another angry fan ranting about stuff? And my basic answer is, for the most part, no. So, if it's just going to be me bitching and moaning about the state of fandom, I don't know that that's fun for me to do. And I don't know that that's necessarily fun for an audience to watch. And it's different than when we're discussing things, when we have like a fireside chat and we're talking about whatever the newest woke crap Wizards is doing for D&D. I think those chats end up being a bit more productive. So if it's not productive or useful, or, okay, this is screwed up, we don't like this, and here's what we're doing about it. For example, what are we doing about it? Well, we're playing a first edition game. We're playing a hybrid first and fifth edition game. And, James is making his own games. I do work for some other people's games. That's what we're doing about it. So we're not just bitching about it. So, that's kind of my thought. So,
and the allure of saying woke and using it as a punchline wears off. You have something else to say.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the only reason I listen to you.
Right.
It's the only reason I listen to Vince. It's the only reason I listen to any of these guys, is because there's something beyond simply using woke as a punchline.
Right. It's like I've already done Wokesters of the Coast. Ha ha ha. That's already gotten its one laugh. So, time to move on. Yes, is it still true about the company? Absolutely. But there has to be something more after the snide comment.
Yeah, if you have a problem with something, you can't just bitch about it. Well, you can, but overall, you come across as a jackass.
Exactly. When my next comic Kickstarter goes out for Rise of the Force issue 2, I will be lambasting each and every one of you that does not support it, because I've heard comments about woke comments.
Of course, we'll be supporting.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a given. Yeah.
But if the same company is like, well, these people are woke, it's like, well, I didn't see you. I didn't see you tossing
supporting the non-woke stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're retweeting just a comment on, and we'll use Twitter as an example, just a comment on negative discourse, you are engaging in the discourse. You are supporting the discourse actively, right? You're not generating your own space. You are generating a space which is attached to and whose existence is contingent on this other one.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you see the post-manosphere grifters, the post-red pill grifters, who go out and their thing is like, well, red pill doesn't talk about this anymore, and so we're going to try to monetize our exit from the manosphere. It's the most pathetic thing you could imagine.
Yeah.
They're going to be raped in federal prison in a few months.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. And they're trying to monetize bullshit that nobody cares about.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. You just go do the thing and shut your mouth about it.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we're getting close to the 3-hour mark. This has been a long broadcast. Fun, though. It's been fun hanging with you guys and talking. All right, so we'll take a few more questions, and then we're going to call it a night. It's getting late, and we have nothing and nowhere to go tomorrow. Oh, blessed decadence.
I'll be drinking and writing all day. I'll be writing the second issue script.
Exactly. I'll be finishing up Chapter 9 of Laserdisc, the pulp detective noir that I'm serializing in Punch Riot and also releasing as a novella. Most likely, if things go to plan, this December.
Anyone new making a guest appearance in the next chapter?
TJ's character surprises us with a certain activity. They don't get perverted. So there's that. I'm trying to think. Any other new Twitter personality? I like to add different Twitter personalities. Bull Rush is back again in Chapter 9.
Okay.
Obviously the terrible trio, Red, Speed Bump, and Skid Mark. The three young lads that are very similar to Baker Street or regular Sherlock Holmes novels. I don't think so. Maybe, definitely in Chapter 10. Nick will be making his voodoo priest type character will be making a reappearance in Chapter 10 because Chapter 10 is the denouement, as it were. Chapter 10 is the final boss and the end of the story.
Okay. Will Cappy be back for the end, or
that was just a the Manosphere. Manosphere reference. That was just like a quick one shot. That was like almost an inside joke to see if people got it and make people laugh that knew about it.
Right.
30 seconds.
Okay, I'm counting.
All
right. So questions.
You got one from Bacon asking you about wine.
Zinfandels. Zinfandels, I know they get a bad rap for being sweet, but there's a lot of dry Zinfandels out there. I do like them. They're really good in the summer. Chicks dig them. I would say always have a Pinot Grigio and always have a Zinfandel in your bar if you're entertaining the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Zinfandels are good. They're not my go-to, but I do like them. I like some of the ones that are coming out of the New York region.
the wine region. So yes, like the Finger Lake regions. I think Dr. Constantine is or something. One of those brands up there. They're pretty good. Some of the locals, Valenzano. I think Iron Plow might make one. They're not bad. Some of the fruit ones are tasty. Like I said, in the summertime with some crushed ice. I know it sounds frou-frou, but you drink what the fuck you want. You drink what you like. What tickles your fucking palate. And when you're with a woman, when you're with your girl, who fucking gives a shit? But yeah, Zinfandels. I'm slurring my words now. Zinfandels in the summer months are good. Now we're coming out of the summer months, so I'm not going to touch the Zinfandels the next year. Now I'm moving into the heavier reds, ciders, and mulling wines.
That was my next question: is if you drink any mulled wine or make any.
I don't make them, but I do buy them. In fact, I recommended one to TJ, and you did buy one. Let me go grab it. Where is it? Here we go. This is local. It's Tomasello Winery.
Mm-hmm.
Mulled spice wine. It's red wine with natural flavors. You can't see it. I'm doing this like you can see it because I normally have my webcam right here. But
Right.
so there. See that. This is tasty. What you basically do with this is you put this in a saucepan, something that's easy to pour, and you heat it up. You do not boil it. But you heat it up. But yes, and that's you can add a cinnamon stick or some nutmeg to it after the fact. That shit's good for Christmas, Thanksgiving, as a after dinner drink in place of sherry or brandy or port.
Yeah, they have something like that in Sweden called glug, which is a mulled red wine with like raisins in it and cinnamon and some other spices. And I think they have a special pan I think they make it in, but I think sometimes you could make it in like a slow cooker or something like that because like you said, you do not want to boil it.
No, you do not boil. You bring it to like a very, very light simmer.
Yeah.
Mictobus, it's funny you say that. I had that idea, and a cigar too. Wine and a cigar, an MG branded cigar. We'll see. I do want to do the wine though, and that's definitely in the realm of possibility. So keep an eye out for that next year.
Wine's easy to handle. You just need a place, more or less.
You can
Small set of ingredients.
You can go to the co-op and have someone else make it. Right? They do the marketing, and you provide the label, and you make a deal with them. There's a lot of places that do that. I wouldn't do it for so much for profit. I would probably just do it for the shits and giggles.
Right. Well, it's fun to make your own wine. My parents said that.
Oh yeah, the only wine I've ever made was sort of wine. I've made mead.
Right.
So
that's probably the easiest to get into.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Reliably, at least. Monkey booze is a thing, but
mm-hmm.
Monkey booze isn't actually a thing. But God, it's fun to read about.
I know, right? Let's go into the Twitter here. Shit ton of notifications.
On a strike against New Jersey, no monkeys.
Fucking monkeys. The fucking monkeys. Oh, shit.
Not enough of them.
Fuck them. Shut the fuck up. The MG coloring book. That's actually kind of funny. TJ and I have, fundamentally, and not for nothing, we have finished the core Masculine Geek Handbook. Just tweaking a little bit. I have a chapter on Pulp Fiction, and it does feature Doc Savage in it a lot, and that kind of Doc Savage mentality, if you will. So I do want to work on that. I have a chapter on muses, especially when it comes to writers, that I want to flesh out a little bit. So that's done. In fact, that is sitting. If I go over to Noveler, a lot of people ask me what I write in, and I use a browser-based writing app called Noveler, novlr.org. So I've stored that in Noveler, and let's see. What the fuck?
All right. So the Masculine Geek book is sitting at 23,000 words. That's not bad. That's novella length. That would probably be about 63 pages or so. When I tweak the pulp chapter and the muse chapter, I'll probably bump it up to about 25,000 words. So we'll see. Cool. Thanks, Nicholas. I appreciate that. Hey, even as a joke, we get someone to make up a MG coloring book that'd be based on might be good to do the Laserdisc Masculine Geek coloring book because that does feature Rob, TJ, and I as characters. So, yeah. Trying to think. What else do I want to discuss? I think that's pretty much it. The second Tesla Malone novel, that's long been finished. I had a meeting with my book designer last month. He was supposed to get me drafts and has not. So, you fucking artists out there with your laziness. After having been paid the 50% up front.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't. I'm like, oh well, you'll get paid. No, you get it's 50% up front. You get we work on what I want as far as like the concept, and then you do your thing, and then you show me some drafts, and I approve or not approve. Kind of like herd you in the direction that I would like. You finish that, and then I finish paying you.
It's worth asking, where do you get orders from?
Initially, I used to do voice work for a online zine, which is still in existence called the Lovecraft Easy, run by Mike Davis. That's where originally the name Dennis Malone came from. Dennis Malone was a character in a online Call of Cthulhu game that I was part of around 2016. I liked the name. It stuck. The character of Dennis Malone for Tesla and Malone was based off a friend of mine at work as far as physical characteristics. And then I was doing the voice work for that, and I needed a book cover designer. So I reached out, because it is cosmic horror, and it's sort of H.P. Lovecraft themed. So I reached out to the Lovecraft Easy community and said, hey, I have this amount of money to spend. This is the time frame. This is what I want. Who wants to? I set the hook and throughout the line. I set the bait throughout the line, and I had someone bite, and it worked out nicely. Beautiful cover.
That's excellent.
Adam Baker.
Adam Baker.
Good man, but a little needs to fire under his ass. So when I get back from this trip, I generally like the guy. I love his work. I like helping out artists. I like helping out entrepreneurs. I also consider him a friend. So sometimes friendship and business is not good to mix, but he's still a good lad, and I will continue to work with him. So, and MG Connect the Dots crossword puzzle man. Joe Dolio is cranking up. Well, if you were to look at my noveler on the back end, you would see that I have 6 novels waiting, book cover designers, and final editing. So there's going to be a year where it's going to be nothing but Vincent J. LaRose books. So, fuck you, Joe. Fuck you. No, I like Joe. And I'm in no rush. I write to write. I like the stories that I have stories in my head that I want to get out on the digital paper. And when they see the light of the day, they see the light of the day. It's not a huge deal.
That's fair.
Exactly.
This was Eyes of the Forest. That's the cover I did.
Oh shit. Okay. This is James's book, Eyes of the Forest.
Find it on Amazon.
Oh, find it on Amazon. I will buy it. Okay, I'm going to buy a copy of this.
Sweet.
Excellent. Cool. And I like it. It's not too long. It's coming in at. It's novella sized. It's coming in nice pulp novella size. It's coming in 129 pages.
Afternoon read,
It's
basically.
an afternoon. Even if you were a bit lazy, you had some shit to do, you get this done in 2 days.
2 afternoons. Yeah.
Two afternoons, gentlemen.
Can we get a closer shot of that cover, Vince?
No, you can't. Shut up, Farmer. No, I'm kidding.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up. Can you see that?
Very nice.
All right. Cool.
Thank you. The cover that Sarah and you did for the comic book is of course far nicer, but this was fun for.
No, notice James brought this out for you to say buy it, and handed it to me, but I can't have it.
Well, this is actually your copy because I figured I would have it.
Is it real?
Yeah, well, I ordered 8 after I did the correction to the physical manuscript. And I was like, well, I'm probably going to need a spare. And once this trip came up, I'm like, I'll bring this one along. I'll have a pen somewhere, I imagine. So I can finally sign it and send it to you. Because otherwise, that discussion was had, I believe, less than a month after the last Village by the Sea. So it's something of a makeup, among other things.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure I get you a copy of mine as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now you have to sign that. Not now.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I mentioned that. I mentioned that. I have the.
Just put in parentheses, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
That's what I have to put in. That's good. But yes, there will be. So if everything goes well with Adam, and I get a fire under his ass, I could probably have the second Tesla Malone book out. That's a little bit longer. That features some historical figures, which is very cool at the end, fighting the big boss, as it were. That I can have that out in December as well. So in theory, I could have 2 books out in December.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So we'll have a launch party, as it were. So put 3 under my belt and then another 4 in the chamber. Yeah. There's stuff I've been pecking away at for over a decade. And I'm in no hurry to finish. I just enjoy writing. There's some things that will not see the light of day. It's possible that my journal, which I left in my jacket, which I left at the pub,
right,
could
will
see
be
the
published by somebody. If you happen to be watching, don't return it to Vince. Simply return the jacket, but not the. Make sure you photocopy all the pages.
Exactly. Now this is a journal. This particular journal was a moleskin with a Lord of the Rings motif on it.
Is that the one in some of your Instagram pictures?
Correct. Yeah, the one that you just saw this afternoon at the cigar bar was just moments before it was left at the pub. So that goes back to January of 2020. I prefer moleskins. I bounce around between the different sizes of moleskins based on whether or not I can carry it in my pocket or put it in my backpack for the motorcycle. I have a tendency to write something every day, even if I'm recording the weather. There's something about I've always talked about the creative spark of artists, writers, sculptors, painters, and whatnot. I like to know the background story behind their lives, what they do on a daily basis. So I delve into their biographies or autobiographies if one has been published. So there are many writers out there, artists, what have you, that had kept journals. These fascinate me. And gentlemen, I would say if you want to study history, study the textbook type history stuff, but also delve into the personal journals of the individuals of the time period that you're interested in. And I guarantee you're going to get a different perspective, one that is very illuminating and will make you think a little bit differently. Now, having said that, for me, because I'm fascinated with that, I'm kind of a nobody, but it would be neat to think about hundreds of years from now, someone comes across my writings and my journals and said, oh, hey, this is kind of cool. Let me delve into what made him tick creatively. So for myself, and with that in mind, I write something, I record something every day. Well, it could be the weather, it could be what I've eaten, what I've had to drink. Maybe like I do sometimes in the newsletter, I offer up ideas on places to visit, or books to read, or movies to watch, things of that nature. So I'll record those, and the women I meet, the women I engage in, the women I have sex with, the women I tie up and fuck. All those things are in these journals. So as you so entertainingly pointed out, I may get that journal back with some phone numbers. You never know. So I find it interesting. These journals need to be published. Ernst Krauss is doing it. Oh yeah, I've thought about that. I've also thought about publishing the Masculine Geek newsletters because I do treat the newsletters, as you know, the format, as a bit of a journal entry type thing. So it's possible I do it that way. No, I totally agree with you, Nicholas. That is a way to do it. And at the very least, they're entertaining.
Well, and some of the ones from the Masculine Geek newsletter, I think would work well in print.
Oh yeah. Well, I think some of the newsletter the newsletter essays would work well. I would like to go back because we've been doing it for almost. We're up to 100 and something, 127, 128. It's been almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think we come back and curate those and pull out the ones that, yeah, like you said, are interesting and would be good for, the general consumption. So, yeah.
Yeah, kind of the best of.
Exactly. I think Aaron's done that, like the best of Captain Capitalism or something like that.
Mm.
It was kind of cool because he hired this this model to do sort of a pit-up thing. So almost the beginning of every chapter, if you will, had the pin-up girl in a different pose.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea. I may steal that from him, and you may see that. So you have a Masculine Geek pin-up girl, tasteful, very tasteful, like a Vargas, Betty Page, Dita Von Teese.
Oh, definitely.
As you know, I'm a huge Betty Page and Dita Von Teese aficionado. So something something like that, very tasteful, not pornographic, although that has its place as well. Something very tasteful, along with the. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Oh, cool. Give me that. Give me that. This is mine. It's my guy. Let me put this right here. That's on my list. Where the fuck was I? I'm having an old man.
Betty Page and Pinup Girls.
I'm talking about what?
Betty Page and Pinup Girls.
Betty Page and Pinup Girls. I like how you said that. What else? I have to take off my. 127 was the latest. Dan, been around since. Thank you, Nicholas. Yes. So there will be a 128, and we'll discuss some of the things maybe in depth that happened here.
Right.
The Village by the Sea. And if you're on the newsletter, if you're a subscriber, you'll get to read it. Yeah. If you're not, then shut the fuck up.
Get excited because I'm going to be using it as an outlet for a few different frustrations in what I view as being social faux pas that people are not necessarily aware of. Now that the internet has been around for some time, they're not used to doing this. That's fine. That's all right. Daddy Streisand is here to inform you how to act appropriately. And if not, there will be verbal spanking.
Father Streisand. Yes.
Father Streisand.
Mictobus, yeah. Well, if we do a best of, you'll get to read some of the first few. When, if you recall, when did you actually come in? Like what you said, single digits?
It's been around since the beginning, basically.
Oh yeah, Mictobus is a complete devotee of masculine.
Single digits sounds about.
Yeah, and I was honored and fortunate enough to meet Mictobus in person at the Battlefield gathering.
That was at the Battlefield. Yes.
Which you missed because
I did because money is a thing.
I know. You didn't have to pay me.
No, it was a matter of the time.
Oh, gotcha.
I would be missing out on work I would need to do, and money would still be going down in the meantime.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was going to say, because you didn't have to pay anything for the room and board. That was on me.
You know me. I probably, if I splurged on cigars, I would have splurged on cigars there.
But yeah, there's the one cigar shop.
Aha!
Yeah, fantastic place there.
Would have completely given in.
Yeah, you would have.
Now, did you guys say you hit your special bookstore, Vince?
We did. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yes. Yesterday we hit the second time books. Both TJ and you guys. Yeah, show your stuff.
I do.
TJ and oh shit, what TJ got actually.
Right here. I got loot.
Awesome.
Oh, shit, you got TJ's because they're easier. So Edgar Rice Burroughs The Land That Time Forgot.
Awesome.
Yep. And then The Outlaw of Torn.
Oh, very good.
Yep.
I, in the meantime, got, 4 books that I can write off of my taxes. So I'm taking a note of Farron Clary's and writing off single-digit purchases. Let's see what we have. How to Plan a Crusade, Religious War in the High Middle Ages.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtic Realms, which is the history and culture of the Celtic peoples from prehistory to the Norman invasion. We have Medieval Warfare. You could sense a theme here. And then we have The Celts, Search for a Civilization. Those are the nonfiction books. And then we have Pirates of Venus by Edgar Rice Burroughs. So something of an Appendix N retreat.
Awesome. Very solid choices.
It's a good haul.
Yeah.
Especially Pirates of Venus was in the both Appendix N and Jeffrey Johnson's, had its own entry in Jeffrey Johnson's particular expose on it.
Right.
His book on Appendix N, so that's fun. Carson Napier set out for Mars in a secret interplanetary rocket, but found himself instead on a different world, the cloud-hidden planet Venus. Venus was a startling world, semi-private, semi-civilized. It was a place of unmapped oceans dotted with great islands, a world whose trees pierced the clouds and whose cities squatted on the branches. A planet whose inhabitants included men, half-men, and monsters, while struggling with each other for dominance. Carson Napier's adventures, his search for the beautiful Dwar, are Burroughs' novel in the best Tarzan tradition. It's just a fat way of describing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And given how old this thing is, I am delighted to have
Probably
the
first
opportunity.
printing. This second time books, they focus mainly on history and local history and sci-fi, fantasy, and horror. Now, the best thing about it, as you've noticed, the books were well curated.
Yes.
Very well curated. It's a cabin-like structure. Very well curated, great customer service, and if you can't find something, they'll find it for you, and you can get the shit online.
Right.
They have an online presence, especially their account on Abe Books. That's another. I mentioned this before in the newsletter, and in passing on other Masculine Geek shows. Abe Books, ABEBOOKS.com. You can find practically anything there that's mainstream too, but non-mainstream. A lot of the old pulps, erotica, which is one of my favorites. A lot of things that you've never heard of. You can get magazines, you can get posters.
Victorian erotica is pretty good too.
Absolutely, you can get Victorian erotica there. Anything you can think of as far as erotica, you can get there. But obviously, if you want to get something, Edgar Rice Burroughs, H.P. Lovecraft, old James Bond novels, things of that nature. This is a good place to go to.
Can I give a brief shout out to my buddy Armored Carnage, or as he used to be known on Facebook, Chad Thunder. I don't know his actual name, but this is a
Chad Thundercock?
Oh yeah, an old friend.
There you go.
An old friend. He's a chill guy. He's been a watcher for years, and I met him through a completely different avenue on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's a chill guy.
Cool.
He's a really chill guy.
Shout out to him then. Thank you, Mick. This, it's funny. You've been because we didn't. I'm trying to remember when we actually what episode we interacted, because you were. That's something you mentioned, masculine. That's funny. George. I have nothing against George Bruno. George Bruno is cool. That's how Masculine Geek got its start. Actually, I had driven out to Phoenixville area where he was. He had his shop at the time. He was working for a shop, and I had my hair cut and a beard sculpt. And George is kind of cool because he doesn't just cut your hair. I want to say it's like kind of like a therapy session, but it's like two guys sitting down and talking.
Right.
And you're just like, hey, how you doing? Like, what's going on with your life? And that resonated with me. That was really cool. And I was telling him about another business I have with a friend of mine called Legends of Tabletop, and the coffee we were producing. We have a line of coffee.
You guys make coffee?
We do, yeah.
That's fascinating.
I'll send you the link to it.
Rather, I love coffee.
It's really good. It's called Legendary Brew.
Legendary brew. I should tell you somebody a story about that.
Okay, cool. Legendary Brew. So I mentioned that, and it's like, hey, you know what? By the way, I have this idea, and the start to this sort of podcast idea that I have, and I gave him a brief rundown. I was very brief, but I gave him the rundown on it. And he's going, "Wow, it's great." He's like, and the name says so much. The name tells you what it is. And we had him on the show. He shouted us out. So yeah, George Bruno is fine in my book, and I love his pipe tobacco and his beard grooming tips and his shows and whatnot. Fantastic. James, when do you plan to move down here?
Who's that from?
Bull Rush.
Bulrush, sorry.
From Bulrush. And I presume he means Texas.
Texas, yeah. He'll be down in what, October?
So I'm moving. It's complicated. The 21st.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the 11th. Listen, when people, if I was not being chased out, it would be less complicated.
Right.
So from the 11th to the 21st, I will be in Texas. I'll be living with my roommate and more or less using it as sort of like I have here, though I've had less time here on account of all the fun we've been having, as a writing retreat and as a recording retreat. My final move is when whenever my stuff gets down there, more or less. That's it, which is the depressing angle of like I need to make sure all my stuff gets down there safely and efficiently without breaking the bank.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, but that should be early this upcoming month.
All right, cool.
I want to be out in New Jersey so bad. I want to be away so bad. I remember that week vacation I had visiting my buddy Luke. Back in May, just felt like it's like, oh yeah,
that was rejuvenating.
Yeah, that was a realization. Living at home is not free. You pay in other ways.
That's true. Other ways more detrimental.
Yes, rather pay money.
Right. Look back, number 9 was my first episode as well. Went back and listened to the first 8. Oh, cool. That's actually very touching. Don't worry, I'm not going to cry on you. It's cool.
He's crying, but from his left eye, you can't see.
I'm just weeping uncontrollably.
Uncontrollably.
It's horrendous. It's rather embarrassing. No, I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. This is really cool. This has been a fun ride. It's been a fun ride. I mean, I met some great, interesting men. I've known TJ and Aaron before Masculine Geek, but I met Rob right before Masculine Geek as well. It almost coincided together our connection in Masculine Geek. But yeah, made some great connections. Made some what? I almost need bifocals. Fuck. You guys know what kind of restaurants y'all gonna check out over the state? Yeah, we've had some really good restaurants, pubs. We had some great dinner tonight, didn't we, James?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
We had lobster. One thing I shared with the table was the lobster mac and cheese, which I couldn't see I think I mentioned this at the restaurant. I couldn't see the individual pieces of lobster. They were, I swear to God, threaded in.
They were minced.
Curly, yes.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. And the cheese was absolutely decadent.
Right?
I gained back all the pounds I lost in the last 2
Yes,
days.
I was about
to
say. Goddamn lobster mac and cheese. It was worth it, though.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
It was good. I just had a roast beef sandwich with fries. They make really good sliced roast beef. Anchorage Tavern in Summers Point. We were there. We planned to go there on Monday, but found out they were closed Monday and Tuesday to give their staff a break because they're understaffed with the kung flu. And there was another Irish pub around the corner and maybe a couple blocks. We went there. That was tasty. Mictibus, GB introduced me to MG. MG introduced me to Rollo and Jack Donovan. Not getting gay, but that was a saving, pivotal moment. Tell TJ I'm proud of him, Vince. I will. TJ, You sleeping? I don't know if my
Maybe
voice
you might be sleeping.
reached back. I think Rob's back was hurting him. He went to go lay down. I think TJ crashed, and then there were 2. We still have 7 people watching, so we're still good.
Yeah.
No, see, that's how it works. This kind of endeavor, this kind of adventure, has a bit of a snowball effect, and a variety of aspects of one's life. So it's been nothing but a positive experience for me, and I enjoy sharing. I enjoy the subscribers and the core group of men that we have on Masculine Geek Life. That's I consider that an honor and a privilege as well to be a part of that. Bacon, man, last time I had lobster mac and cheese was at the Blue Palm in Hollywood. Took Hot Russian X there before we moved up to June Lake. Bacon, lobster mac and cheese for the win, as you would say. Hot Russian X, I want to see you with a new Hot Russian. I don't want to hear any more about a Hot Russian X. That's in the past. I want to hear more about your new endeavors. God damn it. God damn it.
About
Heading out, work
3 years after the fact, I stopped talking about raspberry.
Yeah, right. Sass, good having you in the chat. Good to hear from you. We'll talk to you soon. I wouldn't have met Bull Rush, Safety Doc, Bacon, or Sass without amazing how. I know, right? It's really cool. It's like this weird stepping stone. Like it's snowballing effect.
Snowball effect.
Exactly. But I will say this, and I mentioned this before. I was talking about this with TJ and James and Rob. Do not bite the hand that feeds you. Okay?
Yeah.
And I will mention specifically, like I know a lot of guys are giving Rollo grief, like, oh, and the hypergamy and the blah, blah, blah. Well, you learn some red pill truths. You see the world through a red pill lens, and then you move on. Okay?
You decided it's time to apply the lessons you've learned.
Exactly. You apply the lessons you've learned, as James has said, you move on, and that information is not for you anymore. Maybe you come back to it just to get some edification to remind you of certain things, but you move on. And Masculine Geek is where you go. Okay? It's like life after the red pill. But you don't go back and bash, oh, he's still talking about, you're a retard. All right? If that's how you think, and if that's your new method of operating, and that's your grift, that's what you're thinking now, then you're a retard, okay? Don't bite the hand that fed you, all right? Don't go bashing guys for stupid shit that saved you, as it were,
Right.
and put you on the path. God, I fucking hate that.
Because among other things,
juvenile 13th grade behavior.
exactly, and it's for people like in this building. We have 3 different generations of men who've been interacting with the manosphere to some capacity. We have Gen X, we have Millennials, and then we have Gen Z. After Gen X came the Millennials to learn and stuff like that.
Exactly.
After the Millennials came Gen Z. After the Gen Z will come somebody else who needs to learn this material.
Yeah,
Right?
but
Because
it's evergreen,
essentially-
and maybe it's not new to you,
right.
but it's new to someone else that has just found Rollo's work.
Right as people made one of the biggest pushes to monetize their exit from the red pill was the time where I went from not dating in my teens to at 21 fucking my way through South Philly.
Exactly.
Right? That's who it's there for.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think I explained beforehand. I do not engage with the people who taught me 2 + 2 = 4. Taught me basic addition and subtraction, and then multiplication and division. I've learned it already, but I don't go back and, by virtue of the fact that it now bores me,
Exactly.
accuse them of being grifters or trying to make money off of men or being boring and stuff like that.
It makes absolutely no sense for you to do that, unless that's your shtick and that's how you want to make money by lambasting the people that made you who you are.
Right? It's completely ridiculous. It's asinine
Exactly.
and harmful because
really
any
is.
person that they stop from learning the material that I learned, who comes after me, is going to be any man. He's potentially one that kills himself because of a divorce, or kills himself because of a beta relationship.
Exactly, and Mick
Right.
just has some sorrow for you.
Oh boy,
South Philly, sorry to hear that.
I'm also sorry.
Hey, beggars can't be choosers. He was starting out. He's good. He's moving up. He's moving out to Texas. So it's got to be.
It's better than South Jersey.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is with some of those guys, their shows, whether you know the information or not, is still entertaining.
Yeah.
Let's take Rollo for example. Rollo still has some interesting shows whether he's talking about a current event, something someone said, something that someone did. He has some entertaining shows. And as far as the information goes, okay, you may know all about hypergamy and how women are hardwired, and you've got game, and all about amused mastery and so on and so forth. Well, guess what? There's someone who doesn't, who's finding it for the first time, or as I've seen lately with several people, there are guys who know this stuff, have heard this stuff for years, but knowing it and doing something with it, they're still waiting for Rich or Rollo or Ryan or whomever to come and take them by the hand and show them how to do it. And because
Ryan Stone didn't put my dick in a girl yet. The red pill is broken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all grifters.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of that. So if the content doesn't interest you anymore,
Yeah, right.
yeah, I mean, for one thing, if you got it all mastered, great, write your own book. Get that out there. But if it doesn't entertain you, my God, I don't sit around watching the Hallmark Channel. I don't. Yeah, I'm not watching Hallmark Christmas movies in June and July. That stuff doesn't interest me. I don't watch it. I watch something that interests me. A discussion on the actual history of the Mutiny on the Bounty and what the movies got wrong, by a professor who's written several books, because wow, there's a video for that on YouTube. Go figure. I'm gaming with the Masculine Geek a couple times a month,
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't get the hate watching.
There are these people who think by virtue they learned something which was entertaining, and by virtue of no longer finding it entertaining, because they've rewatched it 30 times.
Mm-hmm.
They get pissed at themselves.
They think it's no longer true.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw this in politics from 2016 from 2014 to about 2018. People who would disregard things, data that they had posted, swore by, and lambasted anybody else for not regarding as the absolute truth. Not only the data and its veracity, but also their conclusions on said data completely switched gears.
Oh yeah,
because they no longer found it entertaining, and the social space was such, especially on Facebook, that you had to say the next most provocative or interesting thing, such that in my particular space, this is why I no longer engage in politics, among other things, having grown up, but looked at each among other things, having grown up, I would say the true right wing is no longer national Bolshevism. It's just international Bolshevism on account of capital being international. And I did not screw up. I know that sounded drunk, but I am making a direct quote.
That does sound drunk.
These people getting fucking insane.
Yep.
And I'm perfectly happy having people, all those people should be bullied, they should be given swirlies, and they should be kept, that sort of labia rattling should be kept out of the sphere.
Exactly.
We have enough of it as is.
Bacon, if you want, you have to go to Phil to get a good cheesesteak. And you can get a good cheesesteak and actually really good chicken cheesesteak in New Jersey.
That being said,
yeah,
God, they're pretty great.
the Philly cheesesteaks are great.
It's very hard to miss.
Yeah. Embrace the drunk. Yeah, I'm kind of 2 sheets to the wind. This is mainly gin. There's a little bit of tonic in here. Every once in a while, you have to do it.
Right.
Especially if you're on a Masculine Geek adventure.
I find myself wishing we had more wine.
I know, right? That was really good. Well, that one on Summers Point, that one liquor store does have it.
Well, we got to go back. I remember you showing me
that. We have to go back there because I got to pick up my fucking jacket.
Yes.
At the restaurant, which is up the street. Hopefully, no one's taking the journal. I'm always hoping someone does take the journal so they can read it.
That'd be
It'd
fascinating.
be kind of cool. They're gonna get a fucking eyeful. Shit.
Then you're gonna get a phone call.
I'll get several phone calls from women like, I found your journal. Can you do this to me? Sure, why not? But yeah, we could actually absolutely pick up more of that wine. Still 2 more days to go. Two more drunken days of debauchery. Oh shit! So there's 6 of you watching. 2 left here on this end. 3 left with Robert. Thanks for hanging out with us, Robert. It's cool having you on.
Well, thank you. I appreciate being invited. I wasn't necessarily expecting it. I was going to watch the show, of course, but you know,
Surprise!
So yeah, surprise.
well, it was great being on with Aaron again. I don't see. Well, obviously, I watch stuff, but I don't engage with him very often. So it's always kind of nice.
Oh yeah, no,
To be
Aaron,
fair.
we,
He's a good guy.
Exactly. We bust on each other.
Well, that's because you guys have become friends. I mean,
Well,
that's
yeah, we're
the
good
thing.
friends.
That's what guys do.
He'll send me fucking like insulting texts and shit all the time. Like making fun of my mom who's dead. I'm like, whatever. No one. That's why she wasn't very responsive. She's fucking dead. But no, that's the thing. There's some guys out there that don't get that. I've had family members that just don't get that. That's the way men interact. That's how we test each other. That's how we, in some instances, show camaraderie and affection.
Back before Gen X and Boomers decided that they were going to get offended by things that toddlers and single-digit children were saying and smacked them around for it, there were men who would insult each other for fun and enjoy it.
You fucking dick.
Yeah,
Schlong.
exactly.
Yeah.
The biggest thing.
Exactly.
Dex Mannequin.
Dex Mannequin, Private Eye. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
That will never get old. All right, so we got here in the chat. Helicopter rides for commies is still the plan of the day. Absolutely. You guys are well overdue for passing out. Always enjoy game talking, but save some energy for the guys tomorrow. Yeah, I know, right? Seriously. Yeah, we're going to be heading out in a few minutes. It's 12:30. There is, across the street, there's a structure that's being torn down with a backhoe. And these fuckers start at 8 o'clock in the morning. So, and I have the front master bedroom. I have my own bathroom and everything. It's kind of cool. Actually, so does Rob. He's got we have one master bedroom. About the second master bedroom. He's got his own bath. But we're in the front. It's back that way. This way faces the ocean. They're tearing down this building. And they're doing it early in the morning. So I'm up whether I want to or not around 8 o'clock. So, yeah. And I'm strangely not tired, though. I slept very well last night. It wasn't long, but I slept very well. I always sleep very well. The ocean air for me is very rejuvenating. I know people talk about the air and that bullshit. It's not so much bullshit. I think some of it's true. But I get very hungry and sleepy. So. Oh, crap. Yep. So that's it. Let me finish this gin. Are you eating again? You eating again?
Eating?
Yeah.
I took a slice of salami.
Oh, okay. That's pepperoni, isn't it?
Whatever.
That's some fucking. James is putting hot beef in his mouth.
Yeah. That's the important part.
That's the main thing, yeah. Jeez, that's BS. Gets a siesta in there. It really is. It's a pain in the ass. I couldn't have picked the worst. I don't know what I'm saying. I could not have picked the worst place, I guess, for this particular construction project. One good thing is there's a breakfast place right around the corner. The bad thing about that is they're closed in the middle of the week. They're not open again until Friday, so maybe we'll go there on Friday. We got to finish those eggs that
we bought eggs.
We bought a shit ton of eggs.
Have we eaten?
We haven't
any
touched
of them?
We've touched the bacon, and we made the burgers today. Have not touched the fucking eggs. Man energy is invigorating. Yes. I'm sure there's a gay joke in there somewhere. But yes, the camaraderie and the making fun of each other is somehow rejuvenating.
Well, there is a reason why gay men always seem to be happy and having lots and lots of sex, and lesbians have what, like a higher percentage of abuse in
The
relationships.
highest percentage of domestic violence.
Yeah. So, gee, you do the math.
Yeah, go figure. Yeah, that's funny. And tomorrow, I think TJ and I are going to play the Blood Red Skies game.
Is that the first time you guys have played?
No, we had one of the reasons why we met up in Kansas City was to.
Well, I know you played there, but I mean, is that the first time this outing?
Oh yeah. Because what happened was I left the goddamn battle mat back in my house.
Yeah, can you imagine leaving something so important at your house?
I know, right? And then when I thought I could pick it up after Saturday night after we had dinner in Philly, I had forgot my house key.
Right.
So I'm like, fuck it. I'll pick it up on Tuesday when we're back in town for the axe throwing, which I did. I picked it up yesterday. So we were doing other stuff today. So tomorrow we'll play that. And there's one of TJ's American plans. I don't even see that. So I'm using Japanese zeros. But the playing mat is 4 feet by 4 feet. And it's a C mat. TJ's got his aircraft carrier, so we're going to incorporate that into the game. So what we'll do is we'll go out onto the deck, clear that table off, and then roll out the mat, play a couple games. Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm not a huge board game person. You'd think I would be. When I was a kid, I was. I really liked the dungeon game.
Yeah.
With the Rosloff art on the cover.
Yeah.
And that was from 1978, I think. I still have that. I still have that original copy too of that board game. That was one of my favorites. Monopoly, okay. Clue, I didn't give a shit about. Stuff like Connect 4 and all other crap. Hungry Hippos and stuff like that. But I really like the tabletop warfare games. They're fun. Anyone else have any questions before we sign off? James is going to finish eating his meat.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sucking down that cigar.
You going to finish your cigar?
Yeah, well, probably not that one. Probably going to get a different one.
All right. I have one cigar left. I may join you. Sit outside.
Actually.
How far away are you from Rocky Hill, New Jersey?
Oh, Rocky Hill is in central North Jersey. That's up probably Sussex County.
Okay.
From here, that'd be a 2.5 hour ride.
Gotcha.
We do have a question. There's a statement, Axis and Allies here. I do, yeah, Axis and Allies. Oh, that was great fun. Let's see. Is James a cuddly I think Mictobus has been drinking. Is James as cuddly in person as he is online? That is for me to know and you to find out. That's right.
More so if I like you.
Exactly. So yes. So the answer to that would probably be yes.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
And his standards.
He does. Hey, we all meet James's standards.
Well, that's the thing is, here's the problem. Either, yes, I could be cuddling with you, or I view you as a project person, in which case you get to meet Dad Streisand.
Exactly.
And that is less cuddly.
So is Mictobus looking for like an inside spoon? Is that why he's asking?
I think he's trolling for. He's looking for a date.
Yeah.
All that time in the porn industry is brought into his mind.
Right. Has James gotten into wine at all? What does he favor? If so, James is probably a recent aficionado to wine and cigars, thanks to Mexican Geek.
Right.
He's really enjoying what?
Shemong Red.
Shemong Red.
the local South Jersey Pine Barrens based winery and vineyard called Valenzano. Why is Mictubus a closet homosexual? I don't think he's closet anymore.
Yeah, define closet.
It's kind of out. And Chemung Red is a semi-sweet, bordering on sweet red table wine. It's even good chilled, which we've had it chilled. Very drinkable. Great if you're writing because you can get drunk fairly quickly, but without any kind of detriment to your writing.
No, I've found very few detriments to my current mental faculties beyond some fine motor coordination.
Exactly, yeah.
So Vince, would you call that more of an after dinner wine, like maybe for a cheese course or a dessert, or is it a meal wine?
That's a good question.
I certainly enjoyed washing down the New York Strip with it.
Exactly, yeah. I would say it's fairly versatile.
Oh, great.
It's something you can enjoy with a meal,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that you can wash down later with some cheese or even a dessert and
Okay.
have a cigar. Yeah,
If you enjoy grape juice in any capacity,
yeah.
I feel like you can enjoy that wine,
It's-
especially
it-
chilled.
Exactly. It's essentially alcohol. It's alcoholic grape juice without being cloyingly sweet.
Okay.
Doesn't even have a sting, or at least I didn't notice even a sting to it.
Right?
It could not taste the alcohol whatsoever. It just tasted like the grape juice I would have become diabetic on in my childhood.
Gotcha.
FYI, I will be sorely disappointed if Rob and TJ do not wake up with penises sharply on their foreheads, given that they passed out first. We are going to write the word balls on their foreheads. Yeah. It says balls on your forehead. Yes, that's what's going to happen.
How did that get on there?
Mm-hmm. It wasn't us. We have no idea what happened. Somebody must have come in while we were gone.
Let's figure out for leaving the front door unlocked.
Yes, we've been leaving our front door locked the entire time. In fact, slightly ajar. The locking mechanism on the heavy front oak door is fucking busted.
Mm.
And you would think for a place of this caliber and cost would provide a better protection.
I bet you it's going to be replaced by next year.
It will
on
be.
account of how rusted it is.
It will be, yeah. But there's nobody out here. It's a safe neighborhood, and there's nothing here to steal.
All right.
So, yeah. Right.
Here in real New Jersey, which is either the Pine Barrens or the coast.
Exactly. These guys are talking about cheeses, wines, and you call me a closet homosexual. Hey, don't.
I called you an open homosexual. There was nothing about a closet.
Yeah, there was no closet. We just called you gay. What's wrong with cheese and wine? Cheese and wine. You want to impress women? And cheese and wine are very easy to transport on outings with your girl.
Even on a motorcycle.
Even on a motorcycle. I've had many of my girl have been instructed to put on the backpack that I provide for them and load up with cheese and wine. So yes. Open homosexual, it's fun. But bacon's right. Booze and dairy, yeah. They work well in the stomach. I would also add some fruit and nuts, maybe some deli meats, pepperoni. I'm not a big fan of salami.
Oh, no, I really eat pepperoni or salami. That was another thing that we did not have until we were double digits.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Oh, all right, everyone. Any final comments or observations, Robert, before we sign off?
Last opportunity to flirt with me is apparently people are doing it in the chat.
Exactly. They're flirting with James.
Meet one tomboy and the floodgates open. Jesus Christ.
Seriously.
Well, with shipping being an issue, it's kind of harder to get hug pillows from Japan anymore. So you're a bit closer.
Hard to put my likeness on them.
I'm sure you could probably do that easily and ship them in the United States.
But no, just nice to hang out with you guys, even if it's just virtually. You guys looks like it's having having a really good time on Twitter and on the Instagram. So I appreciate sharing the pictures, and
Absolutely.
looking forward to sometime in the future when we'll get together at a meetup or some other masculine geek event that has yet to be announced, and
Announcer
breaking
point.
bread with you guys.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's going to happen. There will be, as you already know, Robert, some of the stuff we have in mind for D&D type stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be a part of that, obviously. But I look forward to sitting down and breaking bread and having a drink with you as well.
So I look forward to hosting people in Dallas. That'll be exciting.
We are going to converge on Dallas next year, and it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, especially if I manage to get my 2-floor client apartment by then.
Oh, nice.
That'll be exciting. We were looking at that, and they didn't have it available. But this tells you how delightfully appealing Texas is, and how inviting it is.
Yeah.
We were looking at the apartments, and for like something like the cost of a studio apartment in New Jersey, we could have gotten a true floor plan had it been available.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw that, and I was like, oh,
that's even enticing for me. Shit.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Who knows how long I'll stay in Jersey? Yes.
Yeah. Probably less long now. They'll be in Texas and constantly speaking the virtues of.
Mikibus says it's not his fault because you have 3 of your top shirt buttons unbuttoned.
It's absolutely his fault. Just because I look like a bear does not mean that you are whatever from the release. You're
not entitled to any of that. Yes.
Exactly.
The textile supply chain is screwed up right now. Daryl says.
More about those shipping containers.
Those shipping containers, yeah. Dallas meetup, Bacon says, I like it. Village by the Gulf barbecue. Yeah, absolutely. Village. We want to go out and shoot boar from helicopters, so it'll be Village by the boar.
There, you can wear your gas mask there, but if it looks too much like a pig, I'm going to shoot you there too.
Exactly.
All right.
Break out the boar spears.
That's right.
We're going hunting.
Get some horses. That part's been exciting. It's like, I'll give you having one of the interests down there is a wildlife biologist who very much likes bones and animal parts. And so I give you some fresh boar tusk.
There you go.
It's more about getting myself about 100 pounds of meat, but
you freeze that shit, you're good for the next year.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you in the chat. It's been very, very interesting and fun. And thank you, Robert, for joining us once again.
Thanks for the invitation. Always.
Very pleasant having you on.
Absolutely, always. And thank you, everyone who will be listening later. If you've made it this far, we appreciate your attention and your time. Village by the Teddy Bear Picnic if James is hosting. Here you go. Free teddy bears for everybody. Free hugs. Free hugs. All right. In the meantime, keep that red wine flowing. The Valenzano Chimone Red flowing. I'll post a picture of it tomorrow. We're gonna get some more after I pick up my fucking jacket from the tavern. Keep that wine flowing. Keep that lead firing down range, and always, always, never take wooden nickels.
Peace.
And what's the new thing to say?
I ordered 200 wooden nickels, which did not make it in time.
God damn it! And shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.